I think that we have a pretty good ball club in St. Louis, a ball club that does need some pitching help, especially in the bullpen. But as far as our lineup's concerned, our defense, our overall team speed and everything, we rank with anybody in the league. And if we can just make a trade or two that can help us and put us in the right direction, we're going to be a tough ball club.
Suter from the belt to the plate. A swing and a miss. And that's the winner. That's the winner. A World Series winner for the Cardinals.
Whitey loves St. Louis, and St. Louis loves Whitey.
Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Appreciate everybody tuned in today. 203, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. As many, if not all of you know by now, the legendary Cardinal manager, Whitey Herzog, has passed away. He passed away earlier this morning. And, you know, we want to hear from you today. It would be disingenuous for the three of us, Marsh, four of us, including Marsh, to speak about the manager that was so beloved here, that you had an opportunity to watch throughout. And Carey, as a young man, you live, born and raised in St. Louis, you did have an opportunity to kind of watch Whitey Herzog as a youngster. So looking forward to hearing your thoughts. But we wanted to ask you about your fondest memories, the thing you loved most about either the way he managed, the way he built that the rosters in the 80s, anything, stories that you want to share, leave us a mic drop. This is going to be a total collaboration to appreciate the life and the career of Whitey Herzog. So leave us a mic drop via the 101 ESPN app. But Carey, I want to start with you. Again, born and raised in St. Louis, Cardinals fan your entire life, and as a young man trying to learn the game of baseball, you had an opportunity to watch Whitey Herzog's teams.
Yeah, pretty much the entire 80s. Growing up, I was born in 81, so probably my first memory would be 83, 84, definitely 85. And just those teams were for me the most exciting Cardinals teams that I can remember. I know, the 11 World Series was a great moment, but just that entire decade worth of baseball. You had Vince Coleman, you had Ozzie Smith, you had Willie McGee, you had all of these guys. And as a young black man growing up in St. Louis, that was, for me, seeing those players on the field was outstanding. Whitey Herzog, the manager. And I just thought, they put together a great group of guys that knew how to play the game. They were fast, they were athletic, they could hit the ball, they could hit and run. They did everything. They played outstanding defensively. And for me, just growing up here in St. Louis during that time, watching those teams was my fondest memory of baseball, of Cardinal baseball. That's, I know he did a great job of putting those people in the places that they needed to be, and they did an outstanding job year after year. And for me, it was just outstanding to watch.
Yeah, I remember, I'm a little older than Carey, and I'm not going to pretend to have grown up on Cardinal baseball because that's just a lie. But I did grow up on watching the Expos play, and I watched a lot of Cardinals games against the Expos and certainly watched the Cardinals in the World Series and whatnot. I remember watching Whitey walking out from the dugout, and I really remember Ozzie Smith, obviously, Vince Coleman, another one. I mean, he was unstoppable as well. So, my memories, if you'll call it, of Whitey Herzog is basically watching a really good Cardinals team that ended up on my TV a lot because they were always in important games.
Absolutely. When I talk about, hey, do one thing great, whether we're talking about the Cardinals, the Blues, any other sport, when I say do one thing great at least, balance, it'd be nice if it would be optimal if you have the best team in the league, balanced throughout, best pitching, best running, best defense, best offense, all that. Basketball, best shooting, best defense, all that. Yeah, that's the type of balance you want. Most teams can't build that way, though, whether it's a lack of scouting, whether it's a tough year in free agency, whether it's just the cap overall. Most teams have imbalances. But if you do one thing great, your fan base can rally behind it if it's successful, and you, in any given game, can lean on that one great thing to win. And when I say that stuff, a lot of it has to do with Whitey Herzog and Whitey Ball.
Yeah.
If you listened to him talk about those teams, whether it was back then or in reflection, he often talked about how spacious Busch Stadium was, Memorial Stadium was, how spacious when he was with the Royals, how spacious that stadium was. He knew 4 singles scores me 1 run. I can't hit a bunch of home runs, but if I got speed and I can put a guy on second base, a single now gets me a run. And it was the idea of I'm going to build to the ballpark, and I'm gonna scout the guys that I know fits what I'm trying to accomplish. And isn't that sports? Isn't that team building?
Yeah.
They ran, and Cardinals fans flocked to the stadium. He's beloved because of what he did for the game in St. Louis. And Jamie, I love the fact, Carey, I love the fact that his team's elite at one thing, and look how much success they had. They weren't hitting a bunch of home runs.
No.
If he was at Wrigley, maybe he builds a team to hit a bunch of home runs, right? But he understood roster building and what it was going to take to win games.
Well, and listening to a lot of Cardinals fans and former broadcasters and current broadcasters and people around Major League Baseball, a lot of them say that Whitey Herzog's teams in the 80s were the most exciting teams the Cardinals ever had.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And you think about that for a second. Digest that. Because you had McGuire with his run. Mm-hmm. You had Jimmy Edmonds. You had how many unbelievable Cardinal teams?
Scott Rowland, Albert Pujols. Like, you had guys.
You had some dudes.
That was a different...
You had a lot of people say that, you know, the Whitey Herzog era was the most exciting Cardinals baseball ever.
He had a theme song, "The Heat Is On." Like when when I hear that song, I think of the '80s Cardinals. I don't think of anything else. Like that was just, and maybe because I was a child, but I think there are a lot of people that are older than me that probably feel the same way. The team that he built, the team that they built, was outstanding. They played hard every game, did their job, and they were just really fun to watch because you knew something special was going to happen night in and night out.
I love, too, that he knew, all right, we're playing on turf, so we better have some guys that can run as well. I love the way that he approached things, and he did it differently than a lot of other teams did in the 80s. We asked for your mic drops. Let's get to Randy. Randy left us mic drop that Marsh had listened to. Really good. No, not our Randy.
Never know.
Listener Randy.
Hey, my name's Randy. Live in Arnold. I used to work in South County, and Whitey was a regular customer of mine. Him and Mary Lou would come in, especially during COVID. I would help Whitey, and we became friends. We talked a lot of baseball. I called him Coach, and it was really nice because my grandfather told me the best manager in baseball was Whitey Herzog, and I believed him, and it was kind of my childhood hero in the 80s. And to meet him and become a friend of his, that I could call him my friend, and they could call on me, him and Mary Lou, if they needed something during the COVID time, it was very special to me. And I'm sad today. I'm very sad, but I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I got to meet Whitey Herzog, spend time with him, talk baseball, and to have him call and say, "This is my friend." So thank you guys so much for what you're doing today. God bless his family and everyone who cared about Whitey. There will never be another White Rat, and nothing like Whitey Ball.
Love that. Randy, well said.
Very well.
You can tell the emotions in his voice, and when you're emotional, when you're speaking about somebody or something, you know how passionate somebody is about it. So, Randy, well said.
I have a quick Whitey Herzog story. I met Whitey a few times over the course of my time here in St. Louis. One time down at the ballpark was very casual, up in the press box area, and Whitey had free pass. Wherever he wanted to go at Busch Stadium, he just does it. We were talking about baseball a little bit, and we were talking, this was during the Mark McGuire kind of that run, and he talked about how a player like that just never existed. You know, like when I managed, those guys didn't exist. We didn't have to worry about those guys hitting 60, 70 home runs. So I always thought that was interesting to sit there and talk about, like, at the time, modern baseball compared to what he managed, which was not that much before. It was slightly before, but not eons before. Yeah. And then I saw him at the time it was Scott Trade Center, now Enterprise Center, and Whitey was up top watching a hockey game. And I saw him in the distance and said, well, I have to go say hi to Whitey Herzog. One, I used to laugh. I used to bug Kelly Chase, because Chaser and Whitey Herzog had the same haircuts. So I used to call Chaser Whitey Herzog. Say, hey, Whitey, nice to see you. So that was kind of a funny thing. So then when I saw Whitey Herzog at the game, I thought it'd be funny to go over and call him Kelly Chase.
Nice.
And he got a giggle out of that, too. But then his biggest thing about hockey, as we started talking about hockey, was he loved the speed of the game. I like the speed. I like the way how fast the guys move. And like, so again, like we talk about Whitey Ball and how he liked that speed and whatnot. I think it was just something ingrained in him that he liked fast-paced game, fast-paced things, you know?
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, when you transition, you're talking about, you get to the 90s and the 2000s where it's station to station. It's not, I think they're trying to implement more of that now, the speed element, having bigger bases and banning the shift and having more people be able to show athleticism, because in the 80s, that's what it was. It was guys flying, and you're like, oh my goodness. Like, some of those guys were superstar athletes in other sports but chose to play baseball, right? And so you're seeing the athleticism on the baseball field as opposed to on the basketball court or on the football field. Those guys were outstanding. Whitey Herzog did a great job of evaluating the talent and getting the guys here that he needed to have the success. But 80s Cardinals baseball, to me, is top tier. I don't think there's anything even close to it.
I just loved he was willing to do something different.
Yeah.
The game has become so homogenized now. Everybody's got the same statistics, the same philosophy, the same way to do it, and they're all picking from the same pile of players.
Yeah.
So if you pick the right players that do the things that you're trying to do, you're going to win more times than not, right? Well, Whitey Herzog's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do it differently, and I'm going to build the roster to do it differently, and we're going to win a lot. Great appreciation for the man, great appreciation for the manager, and we're going to continue to play your mic drops throughout the course of the show today. We're also going to talk to Brad Thompson at 3:30. I know BT loved Whitey. A lot of times you would see him either as a player in spring training or later on as a broadcaster, and he's got a lot of Whitey stories as well. So if you want to share your thoughts on Whitey Herzog, either the man that you had an opportunity to interact with or the manager that you appreciated, leave us a mic drop. We will open things up throughout the course of the show today for you to share your love for Whitey Herzog, who again passed away earlier this morning. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Last night, Sonny Gray, 2 starts, 2 great starts. 2 up, 2 down now for Sonny Gray. Cardinals win. He shoves once again. We'll get into that performance last night on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, we talk about mentality all the time, and we try to tell people as much as possible to get in there and visit with them, especially if they're feeling tired, irritable, even depressed. And a lot of things can happen to you. I can tell you from my own personal standpoint that I got out of shape, then I got tired, fatigued, irritable, then there was a depression. And thank goodness I went and saw Mentality and Angel and everybody over there. They jumped up, they helped, they asked questions, they got a blood panel and figured out how to make me healthy again, both physically and mentally. And I'm so thankful for that.
Jamie, a lot of times when you are irritable, you're projecting, you're ticked off. You're ticked off at yourself. At least that's what I experience. Those times certainly happen from time to time. But when it comes to as much as I was doing before, it's not there anymore. I'm getting in the gym. I'm getting better sleep. I'm getting, I'm motivated.
You're looking great.
Thank you, Jamie. Same to you. I set up my day now, and I stick to it. I'm more disciplined. It's kind of things happen in almost this domino effect, right? If you're experiencing kind of that depression, or you're fatigued or whatever, all of a sudden you're not going to go to the gym. All of a sudden you're not going to maybe do that extra rep if you are at the gym, or you know what, I'll push that off to tomorrow, and then you start beating yourself up again. Why? Go down to Mentality. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you. They got 2 locations, one in South County, one in Chesterfield. They'll talk to you about how you're feeling. Be honest with them, like Jamie and I were. And if you find out that you are low on testosterone, they'll put you on a program, man, it's not going to be long before all of a sudden you're starting to see the results like Jamie and I. Head down there, like I said, 2 locations. If not, give them a try online at www.lowtusa.com.
Here's my mic drop about Whitey. What he did is he brought baseball the way I learned to play it, and the way we played it on the back sale lots. You didn't have guys hitting long home runs. You had guys that hit the ball, and you ran and ran and ran on those bases until someone threw you out. You played defense. You played small ball. You did whatever you had to try to win, and you just did that naturally. In the days when you could get a group of kids together and just play in your neighborhood, he brought that to the major leagues. And when I saw that, I was absolutely just totally overwhelmed to see adult men doing this and being successful doing it. I lived through the 70s as a very young person and never saw a lot of good teams. But when he came there, everything changed. And it was the first time in my lifetime that I was able to really see a great Cardinal baseball team. And 1982 will always be the highlight of my life as a baseball fan. Rest in peace, Whitey. You're the best.
David, thank you for sharing your thoughts and your memories. And if you want to participate too, we'd love to have you. We're opening things up to you. This is somebody that certainly meant a lot to a lot of people, not just from a manager standpoint, but from a human being. You know, somebody that a lot of people just loved to listen to or to be around. Whitey Herzog passes away earlier this morning at age 92. So we're taking your mic drops today. Anything you want to share like David did, or we got a passionate mic drop earlier today from Randy. Anything that you want to share, great. We're all for it. Sonny Gray blanks the A's last night for 6 innings, strikes out 6. Needed just 72 pitches, and he was on a pitch count of about 75. Needed just 72 pitches to get through 6. He defeats his original organization, the team that drafted him. He's now thrown 11 scoreless innings in 2 outings since returning from the hamstring injury that he suffered in spring training. He's been everything that the Cardinals were hoping when they signed him. It's only 2 starts, but it's 2 great starts thus far, and he's not even ramped all the way up yet. Wait until he can throw 90 to 100 pitches. He's been outstanding.
Yeah, so obviously I watched Sonny Gray last year. Not like super closely because at the time I wasn't sure of the Cardinals. Like, who thought at that point the Cardinals would be in the Sonny Gray lottery? There's a lot of Aaron Nola talk. There were a lot of like Blake Snell, things like so many other pitchers that were being discussed. So when Sonny Gray signed here, you do a deep dive and you see that his last year was pretty damn good. He was second in Cy Young voting, I believe. And then he got here and he had the injury and whatnot, and still learning about him. When you don't get the full sample size of a spring training and the guy's kind of, not that he's disappeared, but he's working on things, he's trying to get healthy, out of sight, out of mind a little bit. Well, I sent you guys a text last night to the group chat. I go, hey, the A's suck, but Sonny Gray is a damn good pitcher.
Yeah.
Did you?
Both things can be true.
His pitch location is tremendous. I don't want to say he's an ace. I'm not going to get carried away with that. He's your number one pitcher here by far. But watching him slice up batter after batter from inside, outside, up, down, moving everything around and hitting where he wants to hit, that's a difference maker. You roll out that guy, if the Cardinals are lucky to get into a wild card or a playoff series or whatever, you roll that guy out for game one, you have a chance to win that game. Bottom line.
Yeah.
I agree. His movement on his pitches has been filthy. His sinker, the movement is outstanding. And just watching him perform, I was of the mindset, he was, when they were in spring training before he got hurt, he was doing the chirping and talking. He seemed like, I didn't know if he's really that guy or if that's just something that he brought along with him or trying to be. But it seems to me that's who he is, energy, effort, loves to play the game, and he's been outstanding. I can admit there was some concern from me as well as in terms of, is he going to be good enough or to the level that you need it? He is an ace, in my opinion. And if he continues to perform at this level, as you said, Jamie, when he's allowed to pitch 80, 90 pitches, we're going to see him going into the 6th, 7th. He's in the 6th. We're going to see him in the 7th.
We're going to see some complete games with him this year.
Possibly.
Remember me saying that.
If they will allow it.
He's the type of guy that'll tell Ollie to get back in the dugout.
I hope so, because for me, those are the guys that win and win you championships. You got to have a few guys that rub people the wrong way and make people uncomfortable. And if you come out here to get this ball, you need to get the hell out of my face, sir. Go back to where you came from. I'll talk to you in a minute. That's the mentality that I want from my starting pitchers. And when you have that, you got a chance to be really, really good. And Sonny Gray has been great his first two starts.
Some more details from Derek Gould's post-game report here on Sonny Gray. Swept the slider past Seth Brown to strike him out on a 2-2 pitch. Gray had 6 pitches at his fingertips for the second consecutive game. Dude throws 6 pitches, and he throws all of them well. Got swing and miss on 5 of them. Only the curveball didn't draw a whiff from a hitter. Gray got a called strike on 5 of his 6 pitches. The changeup was the only one that didn't freeze a hitter, but pull all his fastballs, cutter, 4-seam, sinker into the same group. Gray threw each of them at least 11 times, none of them more than 16. Of the 43 fastballs he threw in any of those 3 variations, 35 were strikes. You have 6 pitches, you can command them all, and you can use them in different counts on different hitters various times. That's what pitching is right there. You don't have to always overpower somebody. If you can rear back and you throw 98 past somebody, great. You want a challenge situation, 98, outer black, cool. If not, do you have a variety of pitches that can leave the hitter guessing? And that's what Sonny Gray did last night, and that's what he did in his first start. You think about it from the opposing hitter standpoint. You get in the box, you're trying to eliminate certain things. You get in the box against Sonny Gray, you might not be able to eliminate any of his pitches.
By the time you do, you're out.
Exactly.
Trying to figure it out.
You get deeper into the count, he gets better on it because he can throw more things. It's not unlike, Jordan Hicks pitches again tonight for the Giants. And we've had this conversation about Jordan Hicks. When Jordan Hicks got his opportunity initially, they kept telling him you got to develop a third pitch. Sonny Gray can throw 6 with command. That's pitching. And to Jordan Hicks' credit, he added a third and fourth pitch. But this is somebody, bulldog mentality. Give me the ball every 5 days. He wanted to pitch in St. Louis, not in Memphis. Good on him, because that one looked good.
Yeah,
and now he can build from this. Hopefully his hamstrings hold up, and if they do, like you guys said, you get your number 1.
So when I look at Sonny Gray, and you talk about, he's got 6 pitches, right away, that allows him to go through the lineup 3 times. It allows him to, because even if you've seen him twice, you may not have seen every pitch yet. And obviously they keep track of what pitches to which players. So going into that third time through the lineup, Sonny Gray is going to be well aware of what pitches he's thrown to certain batters already.
Absolutely.
And he might throw them a little something new in there just to mix it up. So that number of pitches allows him to see more batters. But the fact that he doesn't have to reach back for 97, 98, 99, he doesn't have to dominate an at-bat against a guy. That allows him to pitch more innings overall. So it's a great combination right now, and I hope that it continues to go down this path because I really like the way he pitches, and so far I really like the individual too.
Yeah,
I agree. And one thing, that the opening drive had Adam Wainwright on, I believe, couple months ago, and he talked about the importance of a number one pitcher, an ace. The fact that it gives your bullpen the night before and the night after. So you're essentially impacting 3 days. You get the night before, if your bullpen needs to go, you know that ace is going to give you enough innings to where your bullpen is not impacted. And then the next day, they have a chance to pitch if they're rested. So he's been outstanding to watch. It's fun to watch. It's great to watch. Hopefully we can continue to give him the run support. The hitters, the batters, still, come on, still need a little bit more. But he has been outstanding. And he's going to be very impactful for this team for the 24 season.
That's Carey Davis. That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. More of your mic drops on Whitey Herzog. Anything that you want to share with us, fantastic. Listen to your stories or just what he meant to you. David left us a mic drop, which we appreciate. We're going to continue to listen to your mic drops throughout the course of the show today on Whitey Herzog. There is something in sports where I feel like fans and even the media feels like they're entitled to, and I disagree with that. Tell you what that is next on 101 ESPN. If you're looking for a new vehicle and you haven't checked out Auto Centers Nissan's Fresh Start program, what are you waiting for, man? Throughout the month of April, they've got great incentives on select new Nissans. So if you're in the market for a new Nissan Pathfinder, Rogue, Altima, whatever you're looking for, Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they've got them. And in fact, they got it all in one location, too. Over 700 vehicles, both new Nissans and pre-owned vehicles, different makes and models, all in one spot, all at Herculaneum, their location in Herculaneum. 0% APR and payment terms for all the way up to 84 months. It's one incentive that Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum is running throughout the month of April, up to $5,000 off MSRP, and they've got no down payment needed and 3 months of no payments as an option as well. So you give your wallet a break, save your tax money, and get yourself a new vehicle. Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum, they always give you that 30-day return promise within 30 days. If you need to bring the vehicle back, you want to bring it back for whatever reason, they'll refund your money, set you up with something else that you're looking for. Exclusive lifetime warranty as well on all new Nissans. Give you a little peace of mind, too. So when you head out to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. Check them out online as well, AutoCentersNissan.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. A sad day in St. Louis as Cardinal Nation mourns the loss of legendary Hall of Fame and World Series champion manager Whitey Herzog. He was 92. We are taking your mic drops. If you have any memories of Whitey Herzog or just anything you want to share about the Cardinal manager, do so using the mic drop or go to the 101 mobile app. Leave us a mic drop. Send us a text via the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. We'll play those mic drops throughout the show. The Cardinals did win 3-1 yesterday over the Oakland Athletics. They'll take on the A's once again as Lance Lynn takes the mound going up against J.P. Sears, 8:40 first pitch. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together, we drive. Are you kidding me?
Hey guys, so growing up here and being in my 20s in the 80s, I don't think it could have been any better. You had all that speed, all that great defense, clutch hitting, base clearing doubles. You had a manager in that dugout that just knew the game backwards and forwards. And no, Jamie, that's not a slight against our current manager. I just mean he was just everything you wanted. He was from the area. He was a guy that you thought you could go down the street and have a beer with. And he just loved the game like we all love the game, and he loved being a Cardinal. And so I will never forget him taking Joaquin Andujar off after that 85 when he was just lost his damn mind. Anyway, Whitey Herzog, from somebody from, as my grandpa would say, the right side of the river like you, thanks for all the memories. Thank you so much for teaching and loving the game like so many of us do. All right, rest in peace.
I wasn't going to go there.
Lisa, thank you.
She just wanted to clarify.
She just wanted to make sure.
She wanted to get ahead of it, huh?
Yeah, she wanted to get ahead of it. Lisa was the one I was waiting for, because Lisa, whenever we do talk about the manager for the Cardinals, whether it's Ollie or somebody else, Lisa often reminisces on things that she misses about Whitey Herzog. So I was waiting for that mic drop, and you could tell Lisa emotional there at the end. So we appreciate you, Lisa. We appreciate all listeners. As we started off the show today, Carey grew up in St. Louis, and he certainly remembers what his childhood was like to watch the Cardinals in the 80s and Whitey Herzog's team and Whitey Ball. Jamie, certainly a baseball fan. Me, baseball fan. But it's different when you grow up here and you watched it, or you're somebody that was in your 20s like Lisa just shared, and you can experience it all. Mm-hmm. So we want to hear from you. We want this to be a genuine conversation about Whitey Herzog. I had mentioned at the start of the show how just appreciative I am looking back and saying, man, he built a roster for the stadium. He knew how he wanted to win. He knew what he was up against playing in a spacious ballpark. He knew that he wasn't going to be able to drive the ball out of the yard. How do we win then? How do we win games? How do we win games? How do we lose games? And Whitey Herzog, man, he just embodied what it was like to build a roster that was going to win. And Cardinals fans really appreciated it.
I think it was more than that, too. And I was talking about this earlier today, actually with my girlfriend. And I just said, you know why people love Whitey Herzog? Of course, she's like, why, Jamie? Tell me. No, honey, I don't. Why? And I said, because Whitey Herzog's that blue-collar guy that did something good.
Yeah.
And if you look at the history of favorite Cardinals, Blues, even Rams players while they're here, like, you look at that, the fan base and the population of St. Louis are drawn towards blue-collar guys. Even Brett Hull, who is a megastar, he's the kind of guy that scratches his crotch and chews tobacco at the same time. Like, that's our guy. That's our 86
that's
goal
our
scorer
hero,
right there.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so Whitey, having grown up and whatnot, very close to here geographically, then coming back here and having the success that he did, but still maintaining that I'm an everyday guy, walking around the city, visiting restaurants, just being one of the people of St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, there's something to it. Craig Berube will be forever beloved in St. Louis. Yes, he brought a Stanley Cup championship here, but he was very much like Whitey Herzog where he was just one of the guys walking around town doing his thing, going for a beer over at the Beehive or wherever,
Right.
Or at the Hive. He owes us dinner.
He certainly does.
Don't worry, Chief. I'm coming.
Hey, we'll let him off the hook.
No, we won't. We're going to hold him accountable.
All right, fair enough.
That's what he'd do. But that's my perception of it all, too, is Whitey was incredible at what he did, but he also did it with such a blue-collar mentality that it added so much more to it.
No, you're absolutely right. Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, Anthony Stalter's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Continue to leave us mic drops. We'd love to hear from you today. Whitey Herzog passed away earlier this morning at the age of 92, and we're sharing your stories right here in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Katie Wu last night tweeted out, she said that Mason Wynn was dealing with lower back stiffness in Arizona, no spasms, and he feels he's on the other side of it now. Explains some of the playing time decisions over the prior series. We had speculated yesterday why Mason Wynn would be out of the lineup. Marsh had brought up, well, maybe he's dealing with some sort of injury, and Marsh said maybe it's an arm injury. Lo and behold, it wound up being a lower back injury. Either way, he missed some time. So the prophet speaks. The prophet speaks once again.
He's 2 for 2.
Yeah.
There's only a few options.
He's got insider information.
He may know.
Yeah.
Who you talking to over there, huh?
I mean, I must have a guy. I don't know. I didn't want to tell you guys, but
secret.
people think that you're on the payroll.
Yeah. Oh, Anthony is. Cardinals pay Anthony.
Do they?
Maybe I snuck my way on
They
there.
don't want you to hold them accountable.
I haven't gotten that paycheck yet. If they're paying me.
Oh yeah, you have. It's they send you that calendar every year. that one I don't
calendar.
get. The one I don't get.
That's right. I do get a calendar every year from.
They hate
from
my
the
guts
Cardinals.
apparently.
Yeah,
I got one.
Yeah, I said,
so
they hate
do.
my guts.
Yeah,
they may
Jamie, they don't appreciate you.
I don't blame them, but still.
So do the Cardinals owe the fans an explanation as to why Mason Wynn was being sat out? Absolutely not. This is the time. This is a situation where I think fans and us in the media have some weird expectation that we're owed injury information. We are not. It's an injured player.
Yeah, and if you don't tell us, feel the wrath then, Anthony.
Well, I agree with that.
Hold on there.
You go.
Hold on.
Like, if we don't tell us, if we don't know, and a person, go ahead and stretch out, Anthony. I feel it coming.
Look at that. He's stretching out.
He's loosening his back up.
Full chicken breast on
it's
that
okay.
one. Hey,
if you don't tell us, then you leave it up to us to assume. And our assumption is going to be, why the hell isn't this young man playing every single day? He's 22 years old, 21, and you got a guy playing that probably shouldn't be playing as much.
21 overweight.
Yeah, okay.
Pounds.
We got it. We got it.
They've done this before,
We got fined for being overweight. It was a pound. It was like $5,000 per pound per day.
They called it the Chub Club.
Yeah, or $1,300. It was something like
Chub?
that.
Yeah, I was never part of the Chub Club.
I never was either. But it was like $1,300 per pound per day, something like that.
That's brutal.
So, Carey, what you're talking about, though, is like leaving it up to us to speculate. Yeah. I agree. But we're not owed information.
But we can
speculate.
He could say upper body. Like, I know hockey, people just make fun of it all the time.
I hate it.
Carey, I understand, but at least they give you something.
Yeah.
Like if Jake Neighbors, who's out of the lineup right now, if you hadn't have seen that hit, it was just a normal hockey game, and then Jake Neighbors is out for the next game, you're like, well, what the hell's going on? And you're like, nothing. Silence. Well, why the hell
isn't he playing?
Why would Drew Bannister scratch Jake Neighbors? This is one of the best young players, and people would go crazy.
Yeah.
And I know the upper body, lower body, it stinks, but at least it's a form of information. All he could have just said, hey, he's got a couple of bumps and bruises he's dealing with. We're giving him a day off. Boom. So now, like, okay.
Or use the media like you should use the media. Talk to somebody in the media. Say, hey, off the record. No,
you can't say off the record because then who are you going to tell?
But it came out anyways a day later. So what the hell's the difference?
I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this information just so everybody knows.
Right.
And use the media that way.
Everybody?
Because they felt the heat. This is what happened last year. They wait to tell everybody until people start actually caring, and they get a little crazy, which is understandable.
Yeah.
This is thing is, they've done this before where Nolan Gorman, I even went back on Twitter and saw some of the Katie Woos, the Derek Goulds. Nolan Gorman last year had the flu and was out. And they said, he's out. He's got the flu. Like, this is a little bit more important than than the flu, I would think.
Yeah, but you also have to answer questions. Like the flu, okay, he's going to be out a couple of days, right? Lower back stiffness.
But they've done it before.
Okay, but now you're opening up that can of worms. When's he going to, is he in the lineup today? No, he's not. Well, what's the timetable? Sometimes you don't want to.
Isn't that better than you suck as a manager? Why is he not playing?
But if you're worried about that, I mean, then you've already lost. And you know that too, Jamie. If a manager or a team is worried about what us idiots are saying, you've already lost then.
So then I go back to what I said earlier, that what you guys hate, and I don't really care because it seems like an answer at this point.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealing with a little something in the upper body. We're giving him a day off. Now you can't speculate over bad back, this, that. We could talk about arm, we could talk about ribs, we could talk about back. Now it doesn't matter. And you could say, it's a little something upper body. He's like day to day. It's not a big deal. Okay. Now at least we have a little smidgen of food that we can eat and talk about it, and then we're not sitting here lambasting the manager and the team because they're screwing up a young player and how dare he's the best guy on the team. Like, then we're not left to just run wild.
Okay, but this is all self-serving for us. I mean,
Anthony, don't you know what we do for fans?
Why are we into? But we're.
So the NFL.
Do you know who we are?
Correct.
We are 101 ESPN.
St. Louis.
Sports talk for St. Louis.
What is the number one rule?
Nobody's safe.
Yeah, you're acting a little safe today. I don't know about you.
Clearly not. I got 3. This is.
Well, you did the stretching, and I don't know who you were stretching for. So
I'm entering the freaking octagon against all 3 of you.
Ding, ding, ding. Wait till the last
clearly, I'm not safe in this conversation.
Before we rumbled.
I just don't think that as a society we should be entitled to everything.
Here we go.
Right now.
Oh my
entitled.
So the NFL gives detailed reports. You don't appreciate those, knowing that the starting cornerback has had a sprained ankle and missed 2 days of practice.
1 game.
May be limited.
1 game for gambling purposes. This isn't every single day.
You don't think people gamble on every game in basketball?
Not like football.
Yeah, Shohei.
People can't. Most people still can't figure out the hell the money line is.
Well, here's the thing.
Where's the point spread? There's no point spread. It's a run line.
Gersh went on
1.5. Jamie.
You don't have to make fun of people.
I'm not making fun of people. I'm just saying.
Gersh was dragging it off the rails on purpose here.
Gersh was
Dragging
on
you off the rails.
BK Ferrario, and at the beginning of the season, opening day,
poison you.
The season opener.
Sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
The season opener, Gersh was on BK Ferrario, and they asked him about this, why Mason Wynn wasn't, in the lineup, and his explanation was, they wanted to give Crawford or those type of players.
Give him a look.
Just give them a look, right? So that is what we, as of now, the fan base, they hear that. That's what they're thinking. Oh, they're still trying to give this guy a look.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it needs to come out that he is dealing with something. Otherwise, the fan base just thinks that Brandon Crawford just needs a few at-bats to stay loose, much like you are right now, stretching out.
We're gonna think whatever we think. Wouldn't you rather be informed?
But that's coming from the organization.
Yes, of course. Yeah. But we're dealing with an injury here. We're not dealing with anything else. We're dealing with an injury.
But every other sports gives you the answer when a person is injured.
Or somewhat.
To a degree. I mean, hockey, I don't know what the hell a lower body injury. It could be anything.
Well, here, Carey, I'll show you.
I know. I'm okay. I'll pass. You show Anthony in break.
I think I'm good.
It's going to be that mid-lower body injury.
I'm okay. I'll pass.
Yeah, I'll find it.
You won't have to look hard.
The Lars Nootbaar injury.
What's trending is next on 101 ESPN.
Well, if you are looking to remodel your kitchen, your bathroom, or that outdoor space, E&B Granite needs to be your first stop or your first call. Go down there to 6135 Manchester Avenue, walk in there, talk to the house design staff. They are incredible. If you have a vision for whatever it is you're looking to accomplish, they're right there with you. They're going to walk beside you through the whole process. But if you don't, which I didn't, redid my entire kitchen, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. That's where they are all-stars. We went through the different kinds of cabinets that they have, which are unbelievable. Custom cabinets, by the way. Also custom countertops. I had no idea what I was looking for, what color, what pattern. That was easy. I got to look at all of that in-house at E&B Granite. And then the fabricators and the installers are awesome. They get into your home. They measure everything perfectly. They remove things without making a mess. And then after they're done installing everything and making sure it's ready to go, honestly, it's like a picture right out of a magazine. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely thank me for that. And E&B Granite has incredible customer service. So please give them a call at 314-645-9300. Again, that's 314-645-9300, or you can visit them at enbgranite.com.
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, this topic came up in the office because Jackson Burkett walked in the door. But tonight is the NBA play-in game. The first night, we'll have the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the New Orleans Pelicans.
Everybody gets a ribbon game.
And the Golden State Warriors.
Not what this is.
Carey's Golden State Warriors taking on the Sacramento Kings. But Jamie, you don't like the play-in game. What are your thoughts on this format for the NBA? It's been a few years since they started it, but you think it's stupid.
So, okay, that's a little
Well, no,
harsh.
you do.
Okay, I think it's stupid. Okay, so no, hear me out. One, from the business side of things, and Anthony, you know I can separate business from emotion all the time. So you've seen it for years now. Even when people hate what I have to say, I'll tell them what the business side is.
Yeah.
We talk about with the Cardinals all the time. But the business side of it is fantastic. Revenues, TV time, I mean, marketing, all that stuff. You are going to get as many eyeballs as you can on these, participant games, okay? I don't like it. I don't like it. It minimizes the regular season. Why does a big game in January matter anymore as long as you can just stay close? All you got to do, what is it, top 8 teams in each conference?
Well, it's the top 10 teams get in.
No, without the play-in.
Without the play-in,
Without
yes.
the play-in. It's top
Correct.
10?
Without the play-in, it's top 8.
Top 8.
With the play-in, it's the last 2 teams. It's the 9th and the 10th team
so
get an opportunity.
let me ask you this, Carey, because you played in the NFL. So the Pittsburgh Steelers battle their ass off to get into a wild card spot. You've earned that wild card spot. Now the Baltimore Ravens, who didn't earn a wild card spot, they get to play you.
Sign me up.
To boot you out of the playoffs. Bull spit. I don't believe a word that you're saying.
No.
Now.
I would say it's a little different because it's one game in football, regardless. With the play-in, it's one game here, but it also is a 7-game series. So once they make it into the playoffs, and here's why I think it's important. Right now, the Los Angeles Lakers are the 8th seed. So if the season were normal,
as long as LeBron gets a chance,
they would have been in regardless. But the Golden State Warriors are the 10th seed, right? And so they would have not been in. Having the Warriors and the Lakers
to be in.
Maybe not.
They don't.
But the play-in allows them to have that opportunity.
Well, right now, the Blues would be allowed to get a play-in.
Well, then the NHL needs to get their bleep together and get a play-in tournament.
Yeah. They hold teams accountable to a good regular season.
Well,
and
the
then
Warriors have had a good-ish regular season. It's been okay.
Did they have good enough?
Nah, yeah.
Did they finish top 8?
They're the 10th seed.
Did they finish top 8?
They needed to finish top 10.
Excuse me, sir, you didn't answer my question. It's
they
yes
did not
or no.
finish top 8. They finished top 10.
I'm going to ask you once again, Your Honor.
I said no. They didn't finish top 8.
I'm
they
the judge
finished
here,
top 10.
gentlemen.
Rest my case.
Let's not forget that.
I'm sorry, Carey. It just, to me,
I think it just brings
it diminishes getting in at the 8th spot.
Here's why I disagree, because now up until last week, a week and a half ago, you had 5 teams. You had 6 or 7 teams trying to get to the 6th seed above where they're not in the play-in. The Suns, the Mavericks were all of those, the Pelicans, the Lakers, the Kings, and the Warriors.
So they had to win regular season games,
They had to work, yes.
Yeah.
They had to.
They were rewarded
for
that.
But the NBA has had a problem in the past where guys sit out. You know, you have your rest days. What is it? What do they call it?
Load management.
Load management.
But then,
and so this alleviated that problem to a degree.
No, it didn't.
To a degree.
Look at the bottom teams. Look at the load management that went on the teams that knew they could get into the play-ins.
Nobody wants to be in the play-in.
But
they were all fighting to get that 5th or 6th seed.
LeBron didn't even break a sweat the last couple of games because he knew he didn't have to.
LeBron might not even be in the playoffs, and they're the 8th seed.
I'm sorry. I think the concept is flawed.
Yeah, come on.
The Atlanta Hawks.
So everybody gets a ribbon.
The Atlanta Hawks probably don't deserve
10th seed, play-in game. 36 wins, 46 losses. Congrats, you're in the playoffs.
Well, no, it's not the playoffs. It's the play-in to get into the playoffs.
All they should do is take those teams and have play-outs.
Come on.
Get rid of them.
You're killing me.
Anthony, you've been sitting over there quiet. What do you think?
You break this tie.
I think that the regular season doesn't matter in the NBA, and they're trying to generate more eyeballs to their sport, their league.
Last week was amazing because in the Western Conference, they were separated. The 6th seed down to the 10th seed were separated by 2 to 3 games. Meaning, with 10 games left, 10 days left, they were still fighting to get into the top 6.
Imagine how hard they'd fight if they had to get to 8.
Oh, come on.
I mean, you're seeing that right now in the NHL. The NHL is also having an exciting last week of the season, yet they don't need a play-in game.
Thanve you.
Anthony, what is your
because they have 8 seeds, right?
Yeah, same as basketball.
Same as it was.
So they've had obviously 8 seeds, but now they're just playing this play-in to generate more excitement for the league.
To make you think it's an important game.
It is.
It isn't.
Well, it is important from the standpoint that somebody's going to be eliminated.
It's fine, but I'm sorry. Then what the hell is the reward to the team that scratches and claws and gets the 8th spot? The reward is they still have to keep playing games.
But you're scratching and clawing. But listen to what you're saying. You're scratching and clawing for the 8th spot.
Yeah. You should be rewarded for that.
They should have played better in the season.
What's that famous saying?
Why didn't they play better to get to the 6th seed?
There you go.
Okay, I understand that, but
then
now
they'd be in.
But you're splitting hairs.
Am I?
Carey, what's that saying you have? That famous saying you love?
Just get in.
Yeah, that's right.
And they all got in.
Too many.
Like, the Heat won 7 more games than the Bulls did.
Right.
Yet, they have to play this play-in game.
Exactly.
Well, why didn't they win 2 more games to get ahead of the Indiana Pacers?
Okay, but then, Anthony, why don't we just narrow the field down to 6 teams in each conference? And if that's what we're going to do, let's go 6 teams.
Well, because you're trying to generate excitement for your sport.
Okay, but I don't have to like it.
I'm not telling you have to.
As a player?
Yeah.
Why? Like, as a player, I will lay it all on the line to get my team into the playoffs. If we get to the 8th spot in the last game of the season, we get rewarded with playoffs. Our ownership gets rewarded with playoff revenue right away. Those other teams, do you think I want to end up playing against teams that were lesser than us again?
So the Golden State Warriors are the 10th seed.
It is a competition, right, Jamie?
Yeah. It's a one game.
You're fine. I understand what you're saying, but why should I have to beat a team that doesn't deserve to be there? They should have won more games. I'm sorry. I'd rather die than admit that this system is good. I'm not kidding.
That's fine.
Strike me dead right now. I will never like this.
That's fine.
And even if the NHL goes to it, I won't like it then either.
Your points are also valid to get to the 6th seed, which would mean you're already in.
Why not get to the top 4 seeds?
I appreciate Jamie saying, I'll do anything other than agree with you all.
Right, that's
what I'm saying.
You doesn't have to worry about this, the Celtics.
There you go.
And the Thunder.
Yep.
They
Number 1.
They don't have to worry about this.
I'll be tuned in, all right.
You're trying to protect like the 8th seed.
So the Golden State Warriors start as a 10th seed. They make it to the 8th seed because they win both of their play-in games, and then they go on and win a championship. You're telling me that team didn't deserve to have an opportunity to even be in? I'm just ask if that happened. Yeah. You don't think that they deserve, if they are the 10th seed right now, and they eventually win their 2 games, and they finish as the 8th seed in the playoffs, which they have in my opinion, a favorable matchup against OKC, a young OKC team. They win versus the number 1, and now they go on and make a run through the playoffs and make it to the NBA Finals and win.
Yeah.
You're telling me that team didn't deserve to be there?
No, they should have finished in the 8th spot then and went on the same damn run.
Jamie, you're a stubborn son of a gun.
Yeah, I told you I'd rather die at this point. I wasn't joking.
He was being honest.
I wasn't joking.
He's done it before.
Yeah. I will die here, right here. I don't care.
Do the Blues have their sights on another coach moving forward, or should they just bring back Drew Bannister? We'll get in that conversation next on 101 ESPN.
All right, St. Louis, are you currently thinking about selling your home? Spring fever is officially here, and a lot of people putting their houses on the market, but you got to make sure that you're doing it at the right time, at the right price, and that's why you need to call Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. And a couple reasons why is she's got a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. All that does, it creates a higher demand for your listing and ultimately more money for you at the end of it when you get to the closing table. And you will get to the closing table with Gloria Lou. Gloria Lou also has a program, an option rather, called Guaranteed Sales. All that is Gloria's going to sell your home at the agreed upon price, or she'll buy it herself, and she guarantees all of that in handwriting. So there really is no other question. Call Gloria Lou today at 314-325-6888. Again, that number's 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales date and possession date.
My grandma, she went to school with Whitey Herzog. They were actually cousins. I would actually see him at family reunions, and he had brought in certain stars like Red Shangdinks and Ozzie Smith, and got an autograph Hall of Fame ball growing up, and he's just an amazing guy, and was very lucky to get to know him throughout my life, and is quite a big loss just to our side, and you know, love you guys. Love 101 ESPN. Thanks.
Lee, we appreciate you. That was Lee leaving us a mic drop on Whitey Herzog, who passed away earlier today at the age of 92. We asked for your mic drops today. We wanted to have you have an opportunity to share your thoughts, your feelings, your stories with us, and you guys have absolutely delivered, and we'll continue to do this throughout the course of the show. We did talk about Whitey Herzog and kind of what, you know, our thoughts on him as a manager and as a man earlier in the show, and we'll have that available to you in the podcast later on tonight. 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN app is where you can find the podcast, all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. But keep sending the mic drops in. We do appreciate it. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic, released an article about the Blues coaching search. Drew Bannister done, Joel Quenneville, David Carl. Excuse me. I added a Y there for no reason.
Well, Randy Carlyle exists, and he was a head coach.
That was my thought. Clearly, Jamie, thank you.
You're welcome.
For the backup on that one.
Yep.
Let's start here. If they are going to keep Drew Bannister and they make him the full-time head coach, remove the interim tag, make him the full-time head coach, what would be the number one reason in your eyes, Jamie, to do so?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, all of the young guys that had success for this team throughout this season or down the stretch, they all played for Drew Bannister. Mm. They were coached and developed in the American Hockey League by Drew Bannister. than they were coached and developed at the NHL level with Drew Bannister, Steve Ott, and Mike Weber. So I think that if you're looking at how bright the future looks, you're like, man, that Bolduc, Jake Neighbors, Joel Hofer, that's all his doing. Well, I should say, he had a big hand in that because there's lots of people that help with the development. The players themselves, of course, they're a huge part of their own development. But Drew Bannister was the head coach during that time in Springfield. So I think that's kind of the position you take with it. And your team ended up finishing way better than what you thought. Like, I don't even know if Doug Armstrong thought this team would finish as good as it has when he fired Craig Berube. Like, did Army think, I'm going to give the interim tag to Drew Bannister and we're going to march it out and see what happens here, and if we go down in a big ball of flames, then okay, whatever. But Drew Bannister, as he should have, took the job very seriously, came in and tried to fix this team, and he fixed a lot of things quickly. Ultimately, could he fix the fact that you're going to be inconsistent at times or pockets of inconsistency? No. But again, neither could Craig Berube. And Craig Berube was a Stanley Cup champion head coach, a longtime NHL head coach, an AHL head coach, and he couldn't fix those problems. What makes you think Drew Bannister on an interim basis is going to come in and solve that riddle?
Right.
So ultimately then it becomes a roster issue. Do we have the right players? If that's the case, Drew Bannister doesn't sit at the draft table and tell Army who to pick or who to sign on July 1st when unrestricted free agency happens. Mm-hmm. So if it's a roster issue, then Army has to look in the mirror and say, okay, I didn't provide the right roster to Craig Berube and Drew Bannister. So I need to fix that. And then I think Army did correct a few of those things along the way by committing to the young guys, bringing up Zach Bolduc, then giving him more ice time. And I'm not saying Army did that. It's a combination. Doug Armstrong sits down with Drew Bannister and the coaching staff almost on a daily basis. And they discuss the lineup, they discuss the strategy, they discuss lines and pairs and all that stuff. So all of them had a hand in deciding what players will dress, and then ultimately Drew Bannister deployed the roster as he saw fit when it came game time. So if I'm to look at why he should stay, I think the team improved under his watch. I think the young guys improved tremendously. In fact, I think the young guys became a prominent part of this team under his watch. And if you have more young guys, Dalibor Dvorsky, Lindstein, Snuggerud, these guys are all going to make an impact in the next couple of years. Maybe you want a head coach that can develop and work with young players.
So that's going to be that leads into my next question for you guys. Joel Quenneville, everybody knows why you'd bring in Joel Quenneville. He said, he's been in the organization. He's a multiple Stanley Cup winning coach. He does come with the baggage, of course, of what happened in Chicago. The league has not made a decision on Joel Quenneville yet either in his status. So we all kind of know what you're getting into with Joel Quenneville. Would it be more beneficial, though, for Doug Armstrong to go with somebody, whether it's Drew Bannister or another kind of young, energetic coach, to pair up with the young roster?
Look, you're asking me to pick between Joel Quenneville and relatively unknown head coaches.
That's why I want to push Joel Quenneville to the side, because we all know what you'd be getting there. So this isn't a comparison.
If Joel Quenneville does become available because the league makes him available, then I don't see why the St. Louis Blues wouldn't talk to him.
Sure.
Joel Quenneville also developed some pretty good young players.
Right.
Patrick Kane, Jonathan Toews, Brent Seabrook, Duncan Keith, Corey Crawford. Those were all young players with the Blackhawks.
All right. Joel Quenneville's not available.
Okay.
Veteran NHL coach.
I wanted to hit that head on because so much of our fan base
text messages
is going to be like, why would you not take Joel Quenneville?
Exactly. Well, because some people choose not to listen and they just want to react. That's the fact. So let's just take a veteran coach that maybe has been bounced around a while.
Yeah.
Okay. Or a young coach that maybe just looking for a chance but doesn't have the experience. And if you want to kind of, instead of just going this or that, you can talk about both then. Mm-hmm. Talk about the advantages, disadvantages to both.
So I believe Ken Hitchcock was Army's first hire. I believe. I don't think he was part of the Davis Payne era. I could be wrong.
No, I think that was an Army hire.
Hitch was. I think Hitch was Army's first hire as a GM. Yeah. So then it went from Hitch to Mike Yeo. From Mike Yeo to Craig Berube to Drew Bannister. So the general manager / president is on his 4th head coach. I believe he has to get the next one right. And if you're looking at a veteran coach, let's say it's a Todd McClellan or an Alain Vigneault or a whoever you want, any one of your recycled coaches that are out there, Gerard Gallant, what makes you think it's going to work here? Those guys are sitting at home right now not coaching for a reason. Mm-hmm. Do I not think they're good coaches? I'm not saying that. I think Todd McClellan is one of the best X's and O's coaches I've ever played for. But does he have a personality of a wall? Yeah. He does. He is so, like, stoic is, like, a nice word about it. Like, he's not a jerk. I like him. But he's not, like, if you're a young guy, you have no idea where you stand with him. He may not even tap the brakes in the parking lot and you're walking in front of his car. But he's a hell of a coach, right? So my point is, why would you go with your 4th head coach and go with a person who hasn't had the ultimate success as a head coach yet, Joe Quenneville excluded? You've got a guy in Drew Bannister that has proven to you he can work with the youth. And if you're even going to go, like David Carl, the Denver University head coach, do you want to go that route? Do you want your next head coach to be someone who has absolutely no experience in the pro game?
Right.
Who hasn't developed players for the National Hockey League? He's made great college players, but let's be honest here, only a small percentage of those players on his team, 2 or 3 guys, will actually go on to have substantial NHL careers. So how many players is he really developing?
Right.
Is there a coach with the roster that they had for 23-24? Is there any coach that could have gotten more out of that roster?
This year?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So then it's not really, I mean, the coach is important.
You go back to Craig Berube.
Yeah.
Craig Berube is arguably like the most popular coach in Blues history.
Correct. So it's more about, not more, but it's the roster construction is probably more important than getting the coach right. You got to get the roster right and find the right coach that can coach the guys that are going to be on that ice.
Well, Army loves accountability. He loves the team to be accountable. Now, when Chief was here, Chief had the benefit of having Alex Pietrangelo, Alex Steen, Jay Bouwmeester, Tyler Bozak, Pat Maroon. Those were guys that held the room accountable. So as much as Chief held the room accountable, those other guys policed the locker room too. It was a great combination. Right. So when I talk about Army liking accountability, Drew Bannister came in a really tough spot. He's not the head coach, and I loosely compare it to the substitute teacher coming in. And now the substitute teacher's got to lay the law down, right?
Right, it's a little difficult.
And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Right. Not that the guys were like that, but then Drew Bannister said, oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, Boots, you're going to sit for the 3rd period. Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, get comfortable because you're not going anywhere because you haven't given me enough tonight. Hey, Kevin Hayes, we're going to bench you. We're going to healthy scratch you during our last stretch of games, which are our most important game of the season because you're not playing the way we need you to play.
Right.
I mean, that's holding guys accountable.
Right.
So I don't know if Joel Quenneville could do it more than what Drew Bannister did. I certainly don't know if David Carl could do it any more than what Drew Bannister did.
Right.
I don't know ultimately what the future holds in the coaching position for the Blues. I think Drew Bannister, if nothing else, has earned a spot on the coaching staff for next year.
Yeah.
As an associate coach, someone who can help alongside the head coach and be the right-hand man, because I think he's proven that he can do the job.
Right.
So for me, the kicker of all this is if you have a guy like Joel Quenneville that does become available, I think you have to explore that possibility. Apart from that, I'm just not of the belief anymore that you just retread another head coach that's been around forever. The game is moving at a rapid pace, and the pace is bringing in more and more young players, and you have to find a way for the young players to buy in and feel like they're a part of the group. And I feel like, if nothing else, Drew Bannister did that this year.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We're going to play Carey Davis, of course. Are You Sold next?
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. 314-399-9646. If you have an Are You Sold option for us, leave it there. We'll play Are You Sold next. Looking out the window here in our studios, and I'm seeing a bunch of dark clouds, and we know that rain's going to hit again. Last week it hit, and the week before that it hit. We know it's rainy season here in St. Louis. How's your lawn looking? If you look out and you don't see a bunch of green, and the grass is getting high, and you're mowing every single week, and you're just looking out and you see a bunch of weeds, give my friends at Green Envy a call. I've been there before. I know what it's like to look out and say, man, my lawn does not look like my neighbor's. What's my neighbor doing? Neighbor probably has Green Envy. Green Envy only uses products that are formulated for our Missouri soil types, the weather conditions, and the turf types. Why is that important? Well, when you go out to the hardware store and you're looking at all the products that are available, one, do you know what the best products are for your lawn? Do they have those same products on the same shelves in other locations? If they do, it might be ineffective for your lawn. With Green Envy, they're only going to use products that they know work right here in Missouri. So when it comes to Green Envy, they do a great job of maintaining your lawn and making sure it's looking at its best, whether it's from a seeding standpoint, spraying for weeds, irrigation, all that. They'll take care of that for you, and they'll do it right. And then all you have to do is mow, make sure it looks pretty, and then take all the credit. Green Envy, 636-757-1600. Tell them Stalter sent you. All right, let's play Are You Sold here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Marsh, go ahead.
All right, this one's from the 636. Are you sold that Scott Perunovich will be back next season?
I'm not sold either way on that, but there is something I wanted to bring up, Marshy. And, you know, we talked about it yesterday, and Carey and Andrew, I broke down the video for you guys against the Hurricanes. A lot of Blues fans and some media were very critical of Scott Perunovich on the first empty net goal against the Hurricanes. Well, if you actually go back and watch the video, there are a lot of things that happened on that play that are not Scott Perunovich's fault. One, you have to win a faceoff. And when you have an extra man on the ice, you have to at least compete for that puck if you lose said faceoff. Go back, watch the video. Brent Burns goes from the front of the net to the corner to retrieve a loose puck with absolutely no resistance. Should have been someone in his back pocket from the very beginning of that, forcing him to make a bad play. Instead, that didn't happen. He was afforded a free clear out into the neutral zone. Scott Perunovich now wanted to hold the blue line. He couldn't. He had to back out, make a bit of a fair catch while Jarvis was in his face. So he catches the puck with a guy in his face, throws it down, has to deke around him under pressure. Now you'd think, well, just move it ahead. You can't. You got 4 guys that are stuck in the offensive zone. 3 of them, to which, by the way, are down at the hash marks. Well, just shoot it in. Okay, so you shoot it back in. Now your entire 6 guys has to wait outside the blue line while your guys have to wait until they all get back over the blue line to go back in. If you shoot it in, the goaltender or the defenseman stop it. They have 4 guys in the defensive zone. They're going to exit the zone within 1 pass. They're going to put it in your empty net without problem at all. So Scott Perunovich, that wasn't his fault. The centerman and the forwards on that play, it was their fault. And then when you notice that they're clearing it, the 4 forwards that were in the offensive zone, they have to bust their ass to get back outside the blue line because they should know that their defenseman's under duress and he has nowhere to go with the puck. So as much as Scott Perunovich is a young player and people want to blame him for that play, I'd be glad to sit down with anybody and go over the old telestrator and show you exactly how it happened and how it's not entirely his fault. So will he be back next year? I don't know. I think there's a lot of question marks surrounding that D-core, and I think that Doug Armstrong's going to do the best he possibly can to try and upgrade. And if that means adding Perunovich or moving him along, I mean, he'll do that.
Do you feel like it shifted from where they needed him to play in all of those games so he wouldn't become a restricted free agent?
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, well, we don't know if
either way, it benefited him, Carey. Here's why. Because if he doesn't play in those games, he automatically becomes unrestricted. Correct. And if you're Scott Perunovich, why would you re-sign with the Blues where you're a 6, 7, maybe 8 defenseman? Or you could go sign with the Chicago Blackhawks team where you're going to be in the top 4 playing the power play because they're dreadful and they're going to give you an opportunity to play.
Right.
As a player, you want to win, but as a young guy, you just want to get your foot in the door and establish yourself. So that's why retaining him as a restricted free agent, now if the Blues decide to trade him, the team that gets him is getting a cost-controlled player rather than an unrestricted free agent.
Gotcha.
From the 386, are you sold on Lance Lynn's 2.63 ERA at the end of the season, over or under a 4-point ERA? What do you guys think?
I'll go over.
What?
Over a 4?
So you're not sold on his current ERA?
No.
Of 2.63?
I'm not.
Who are you?
The way you're looking at me, a monster, apparently. Is a monster? Is that correct?
He's only had 2 seasons where he's been over a 4 ERA. Only 2. I mean, come on. Hold on. Maybe 3. No, 4. I can add 2 times over 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say
under.
under.
Was one of those times?
One was last year.
When he almost had a 6?
It was close. Don't look at those numbers. Look at the numbers I'm trying to show you.
Okay, got it.
Only look at the cherry pick numbers.
Only look at the ones that agree with your point. All right, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha.
At other times he was close. He had a 3.99 the year before. Mm-hmm. Still under.
Still under.
He had a 3.67.
Yep.
A few years before that had a 3.97. Still under. Right? You
Still
with
holding.
me or you with me?
I'm with you.
All right. That's all that matters. I'm going to go under. Hopefully.
I think all those base runners eventually lead to runs.
At some point.
At some point.
A lot of guys on base.
I'm going to go with the over.
I think he'll pitch well tonight.
Yeah, big ballpark.
Big ball. Exactly. No,
wow.
he's right. He's right. He challenges hitters.
Is it supposed to rain?
It's not supposed to rain.
All right, then we're good. Huh?
We never know. We haven't seen him
pitch and not without the rain.
Good call.
So, shouldn't be raining in Oakland, I don't think. Forecast.
No, it shouldn't.
It wasn't supposed to rain in L.A. either, though.
No.
Where are they tonight?
Oakland.
Oh, it won't rain tonight.
Yeah.
If it was going to rain, it would have been this morning.
There you go.
It's like California weather.
Yeah. Jamie, you know.
Yeah.
Being a Bay Area guy. Brad Thompson will join us next. We'll talk to him about the passing of Whitey Herzog. I know BT will have plenty of memories to share with us over Whitey. And we'll get into some Cardinals talk, too. Next on 101 ESPN with Brad Thompson.
Jamie Rivers back with you here, joined by my great friend Tracy Bibb from the Bibb Agency. Tracy, how we doing today?
Awesome. How you doing?
I'm doing good. All right, so spring is here. We've had a couple of storms already. Summer's right around the corner. What should our listeners be worried about or thinking about when it comes to their car or home insurance?
Yeah, we've had a couple of storms. We're supposed to get some more tonight. Some people are waking up to find out they have storm damage and they did not know that their insurance company may have changed their deductible on them, and now they've got a percentage deductible or a higher deductible than what they have. Allstate has not done that. We still have a deductible as low as $500 if they wanted to. Also, if they've been hit by one of those storms and maybe they've had to get a new roof, great time to give us a call. Their rate's going to go up with their current company because of losing claim-free discount and having a claim. With us, we can give them a great new rate with that new roof. So great time to call us.
Yeah, it's always a great time to call Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency. And I know firsthand, even today, my youngster, my girlfriend, calling Tracy Bibb. He's trying to get his car plated, needed all this information. Tracy Bibb was there the entire time with unbelievable customer service. And you deserve that. So call Tracy today for a free non-committal quote. Her number is 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. Tracy, thank you so much for everything you do.
Thanks so much. Go Cards.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Today, Cardinal Nation mourns the loss of legendary Hall of Fame and World Series champion manager Whitey Herzog. He passed away at the age of 92. We are taking your mic drops and your text messages via the Air Comfort Service text line. Tell us what you remember of Whitey Herzog, and we'll share that throughout the remainder of the show. Cards win last night 3-1 over the Oakland Athletics. Lance Lynn will take the mound tonight, going up against J.P. Sears. 8:40 first pitch. We're going to talk with Brad Thompson about Whitey Herzog and what he's seen from the Cardinals thus far in 2024. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, independent American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning dealer.
For some high heat with BT on 101 ESPN. Inside and high.
Powered by Scott Lee Heating Company, your preferred Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor. Visit ScottLeeHeating.com.
There's no excuse for Thompson throwing at the head of right.
Time for some high heat with our guy Brad Thompson, who joins us from the road. Of course, you can watch him tonight alongside Chip Carey. Bally Sports Midwest as the Cardinals continue their series against the Oakland, for now, Athletics. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. I'm just spitting facts.
Sacramento.
Come on. Yeah.
Did they change your name?
No, I don't think so.
Just keep the A's?
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
BT, how are you?
I'm doing all right, guys. How are we doing?
Well, certainly sad news for Cardinals fans with Whitey Herzog, the passing of the legendary Cardinals manager. He passed away earlier today at 92. And I know that, BT, just in talking to you as friends over the years, that Whitey Herzog certainly carved a place in your heart. When you think of Whitey Herzog, what's the top thing that pops in your mind?
You know, for me, there's a bunch. When it comes to Whitey, I just had the great fortune over the last few years being, a Cardinal alumni and hanging out with Whitey at fantasy camps and various events. I mean, the guy is just, you gravitate towards him. But one of the things that stands out to me the most about Whitey isn't even necessarily about him. It's about how his teammates that play for him reacted towards him. I mean, he was a father figure to these guys. And I was talking to Rick Horton about him just a couple of days ago, just talked about how he would learn life lessons from Whitey, how oftentimes when you'd be talking to him, it wouldn't even be about baseball. He would let other people do some of the baseball stuff, and he would just talk to you about life. And it is every one of the guys that I ever talked to that had the opportunity to play for Whitey just sings his praises of the human being that he is, obviously the brilliant baseball mind that he had. And, sad day, man. Sad day I feel for all of Cardinal Nation, obviously anybody that had the opportunity to play for him, his family. He was married for over 70 years to his wife, Mary Lou. So feel for the family, but what a wonderful baseball life. And you guys know this, Whitey's going to be remembered forever. I mean, he changed the baseball, and people want to see Whitey ball, that style of baseball, still now to this day, decades later. So Whitey is a man that will never be forgotten in the game of baseball.
So, BT, that's exactly where I want to go. And I don't know if in your conversations with Whitey you ever got a chance to ask him, or if maybe talking to some of the guys who played for him and they discussed it. But, what was the thought process for Whitey Herzog? Why did that style of baseball become Whitey ball? Why did that happen? That's always been something I wanted to ask him.
Yeah, so the thought process was behind it that what they were doing wasn't working. So when he came over in 90, Busch Stadium was big. They're playing on turf, and they had plenty of guys that could hit for average, but they weren't hitting home runs because the ballpark was so big, and they would have to string together tons of hits to get anything going. So as GM, I mean, he had like a wholesale makeover of a team. I thought he brought in 21 new players his first year, and he brought in speed, and he brought in guys that played great defense and athletic, and guys that would would steal bags, that would hit the ball on the ground and would run, and it worked, right? He built a team to what the ballpark was conducive for, and obviously it worked. I mean, this is a team that stole a ton of bags. Everybody remembers the team in '85 that ended up stealing, 314 bags with Vince Coleman ripping about 110 of those things. But like he built a team for what was working, right? You can have all these sluggers if you want to, but if it's not working in your ballpark, then you had to build something else. And he had that unique opportunity to do it as a GM and then a dual role as a GM and a manager, and built like what his vision was. We don't have that opportunity anymore where a manager holds that role of GM as well. And it worked out perfectly, and it was such an entertaining style of baseball. I guess with the new rules in baseball, that's what they're trying to bring back. They're trying to bring back speed, athleticism, excitement, all those things that Whitey saw in the 80s.
BT, I grew up here a Cardinals fan. 80s Cardinal baseball, to me, is the best version of Cardinals baseball ever. You may disagree with that. But I want to know, you've been around this organization for 20-plus years, or close to 20 years. Have you gotten that feeling about the 80s Cardinals and Whitey Ball and how much fans just adored that brand of baseball?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. And there's plenty of talk of it now. When you look at guys that are burners, and you look at a guy like Victor Scott II, Mason Wynn can run, Jordan Walker can run. People are echoing those things. They would love to see more of that Whitey Ball style of baseball. Now, baseball not as conducive to that. It's more of a three true outcome sport. Love it or hate it. That's kind of the way baseball has been going. But I think that we're trending back in that direction. But yes, like Carey, I totally agree with you. People that were watching Cardinal baseball in that era and were aware of it and following the team, that is their favorite style. Not to say they didn't love the teams with the MV3, with Jimmy and Albert and Scott Rowland, and there are great memories throughout the years. But like stylistically, that was a fun time to be a Cardinal fan. You go to 3 World Series and win one with Whitey Herzog. I mean, pretty impressive run.
Talking with Brad Thompson, former World Series champion, former Cardinals pitcher, our former teammate here in the fast lane. BT, a lot made in the offseason for the Cardinals about going and getting pitching, going to get those innings eaters. And the Cardinals' #1 signing was Sonny Gray. And I think people were, I don't want to say apprehensive because the numbers supported the decision, but everybody wanted the bigger, shinier toy. Here I am, though, watching him just absolutely shove in his first 2 starts. I mean, you have to be impressed with what he's done.
He's been incredible. What impressed me the most, the first start that he had, Jamie, was he didn't miss. Like, it was his first outing in a big league game after, being on the IL. And he's putting the ball wherever he wants to. And Chip and I were talking in between innings. I think it was after, like, the 4th inning. And I lean over yesterday, I go, it must be fun to catch him, where you just put a target somewhere and he just hits it. And you don't have to, really don't have to work quite as hard back there behind the plate because he's putting the ball where he wants to. That's what this guy is. And Rick Horton made the point to me as we were on the bus on the way back, and he does the radio broadcast. He goes, hey, how many times during the broadcast did you mention Sonny Gray's velocity? I'm like, I don't recall mentioning it all. He's like, yeah, exactly, because all he does, he puts the ball where he wants to, and he knows how to freaking pitch. We get caught up in, look at that one. That was 98. Yeah, he spiked it in front of the plate, but it was 98. That was really cool. But, yeah, this guy can pitch, and the way that he goes about it, his intensity is infectious. Like, I really think that he's obviously great for the ball club on the field, days he's pitching, but I think he's great for this ball club just in general, the way that he goes about it.
So, BT, I made a loose comparison not too long ago after watching Sonny Gray pitch his first game and then having gone back and watched all the spring training footage and all that stuff. I said Sonny Gray kind of reminds me of Ryan O'Reilly when he first got to the Blues. Is that a fair comparison?
So a guy that comes in and he is obviously a leader, does things, kind of does things his own way, marches to the beat of his own drum, but people follow. Is that kind of the way that you're going with him?
Yeah, it forces other guys to bring more detail to their game, communicate more with teammates, like get on board the Sonny Gray train type thing.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair with him. I think that's fair with Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson as well. I think that all of these guys, and that was part of bringing in more veterans, is showing others the way to go about it. We've talked plenty about losing Adam Wainwright, his veteran presence, losing Yadier Molina, his veteran presence. think you needed more of that. And I think that is a fair comparison with Sonny Gray. You're not going to be able to do everything that he does. You're not going to be able to spin it like he does and maybe have that same pinpoint accuracy, but you sure as heck can pick some things up from him and watch the way that he goes about it, want to emulate some of those things, and make yourself a better pitcher because of it. So, no, I think that's a very fair comparison.
So Jamie compared Sonny to Ryan O'Reilly, as he just said, and our good friend Anthony compared Tink Hintz to Pedro Martinez. So I just wanted to give you that heads up. So whenever Tink does get called up, he's a little Pedro here. Yeah. That's what we call him because our good friend Anthony, Lil P. Anthony, that's what he calls him.
This team is going to be outstanding. Yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm digging the comp. Now, I've got to ask, was the comp on stature and big arm? Where were we putting it?
Oh, no, it's just stuff. Live, filthy stuff, BT.
Okay.
You get it.
Anthony, you've had an eye for forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks.
You've always been able to find that diamond in the rough, that Isaiah Likely on a Thursday.
Right. In Tampa.
Yeah, you've always been able to see something. So, look, I am with you. I would love that. I hope that somebody teaches him a devastating changeup, and I hope that his fingers grow about 6 inches like Pedro's did. It was like shaking a tennis racket with him. But the stuff is there. Like, there's like real excitement certainly around Tink Hintz. Look, you may have set the bar high, but I'm digging it, Anthony.
Well, listen, BT, I mean, come on. If you see something you like an Isaiah Likely, even though Mark Andrews is starting that night, you figure he's going to get hurt, so why not play him?
That's a hell of a call, Anthony.
You can hit it big on your scouting.
There you go.
BT, before we let you go, FedEx Brian chimed in, and this is probably the most important question overall. Did BT find the possum out there? Because we did... Now, remember, we did trade the 618 at one point last year for a possum. We did not receive the possum, so the 618 stayed right here in St. Louis. So do we know if the possum's still right there in the radio booth or the TV booth?
Yeah, Peter's his name. It's Peter the Possum.
Peter the Possum. Nice.
And so here's the thing with Peter. Peter's still there. There's no question.
Mm-hmm.
What they did though was they made it way more difficult for Peter to pop out during a broadcast. He scared the daylights out of some broadcaster. So I think that they've like blocked off certain areas where he would pop out, and then they put what just appears to be like a nicer looking backdrop. I'm not fooled though. Peter's back there. He's coming out. They put new floors in because I think Peter was doing his business in there.
Sure.
A floor he could easily wipe things up now.
Yeah.
But I will say the A's overall, it sucks. It's a bad situation, right, for their fans, an awful situation for Oakland. They do as good of a job as they possibly can. All the stuff was great. Everything, the experience was really good. And then the experience last night of seeing, my partner Chip Carey do a broadcast with his son 2 booths over doing his 4th ever big league broadcast. It was a pretty special night last night at the Coliseum.
I'm sure it was. Absolutely. Well, hey, BT, we appreciate you. Thanks for joining us, especially, today. We'll talk to you again next week. Have a great call tonight as Lance Lynn takes on the A's in Game 2 of the series.
Fellas, I look forward to it as always. Miss you guys.
Same to you, my man. Brother. Same to you. We'll see ya.
See you guys.
That's our guy, Brad Thompson, here in the Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. You figured that possum was still out there.
BT's got such a great knack of describing crap to where it's like, I had a full visual of it.
Oh, yeah. You're there. You're there with BT and the possum. No
That's
doubt.
great.
Although the Blues didn't make the playoffs, was that last stretch vital for this last stretch? Because you still got one more game. Vital for the young players?
Win.
I would say so. What's that?
One more win.
There you go.
Absolutely. One more win. Damn right.
Playing tournament, though, unfortunately.
No, yeah, if they played it, if they had a play-in tournament, they'd be right there.
I'm not even that way. I wouldn't even say, I wish it would happen now. No, they didn't deserve it.
You're right.
Tough parent all the time. Not so much with McKinnon, but
she's my baby. All right.
She kind of runs the show.
We'll talk about the Blues next on 101 ESPN.
Boys, the road to the NBA Finals starts now. And I may not like that play-in tournament at all. But, boy, am I going to bet on it. That's for sure. And I'm going to use FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers to FanDuel can get on their own playoff run with $150. Carey, all you have to do is place a $5 bet, and you get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, Jamie, just place a $5 bet, as you said, and you can bet on 3-pointers made in a game, over, under, point totals for a game, or a person, first basket score. That's Anthony's favorite of the game, favorite bet of them all, first basket score. He wants to choose who's going to score the first bucket of a game. And so you got the Lakers, you got the Warriors, you got the Heat, you got the Bulls, you got a lot of teams in there playing into play-in tournament, trying to get into the playoffs. All you got to do is visit FanDuel.com/fast to get started.
That's right, FanDuel.com/fast. Carey just told you about it. Then you get the $150 in bonus bets, win or lose, to use during the NBA playoffs. It's all courtesy of FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, so I have a story about Whitey Herzog, the White Rat. So over the last couple summers, we occasionally would run into him at ball fields. he would come and usually sit there for 3 to 5 hours just to enjoy the game of baseball and to watch boys play the game of baseball. Usually he had nobody that he was affiliated with through his family or anything, but he was just there to enjoy baseball. And one of the nicest things about him was he was so approachable from the kids on the team that wanted to say hi to him, or myself. I had a couple conversations with him, but his IQ on the game of baseball was just unmatched. And, you know, his memory, he could tell you counts of certain games and why he did this in certain games, and just remembered almost everything that he would see, and would tell you why they're doing this and why they're doing that and why that kid's struggling or not going to hit the ball. But like I said, his approachability was unmatched, and his love for the game was unmatched. And he was a great man and going to be sorely missed, but he's in a better place. Thanks.
Well said, Ben. Thank you. Ben left us a mic drop on Whitey Herzog, who passed away today at 92, and we're taking your mic drops, throughout the course of the show today, as we wanted to hear from you. What did Whitey Herzog mean to you, either as, you know, a person, you had an opportunity to meet him, or maybe just as a Cardinals fan, and the listeners have delivered great mic drops throughout the course of the day. My buddy John, who shared this with me this morning, he said, I remember being somewhere and somebody asked Whitey Herzog who the best player he ever coached was, and his immediate response was Bob Sykes, because I was able to trade him for Willie McGee.
Oh, my God, that's awesome.
So that's a great one. I feel like people have those type of either quips from Whitey Herzog or quotes that they remember, or just funny situations. I was driving around, I think BK and Ferrario had somebody on. He was talking about Whitey Herzog and how he would kind of tune in to certain games, and whoever BK and Ferrario were talking about, they're like, yeah, I even watched your team play. I was that bored. Just stuff like that. He was funny.
That's awesome.
It's awesome, man. So
that's great.
If you want to continue to leave us mic drops, we'd love that as well. Jamie, real quick here, Blues Stars tomorrow night, pregame right here on 101 ESPN starting at 7:30. If you're out of the playoffs, and obviously the Blues have been eliminated, that doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities, and there haven't been opportunities over the last couple of weeks now for young players. And I think that this is, if you're not going to make the playoffs, this is a pivotal stretch to see what you have in some of these young guys. Not that it's going to be the end-all, be-all to determine who's going to be on the roster next year, but it is an opportunity for young players who are hungry to show the coaching staff that they want to do an impeccable job even when nothing's on the line from a playoff standpoint.
So I look at it that way, that the young guys, certainly they want to leave the season on a good note, because that carries over to training camp, which all that means is you're penciled in at certain spots for the next season. Again, you got to go back and earn it, because there will be changes made over the offseason, whether it's roster-wise, whether it's coaching staff, who knows? So you're still going to have to go back out and earn it. But I look at it from the veteran side of things. And I played on some teams that didn't make the playoffs. Not a lot of them, but a couple of them. And I always thought to myself, it was the biggest tell of character who plays right to the last buzzer. Mm-hmm. And when I played with the Islanders, we did not have a good team. We had a young team. We did not have a good team. And I remember we played against the Florida Panthers, was our last game of the season. And we were young, but we were still veteran players. Yeah. And we went out and absolutely pummeled them in the last game, which we shouldn't have. They had a great team. But the group of guys in that locker room knew that we wanted to set the bar for the next season. We wanted to make it known that it was a bad season for us, but we're not going away. So my point is, in describing that, is like, if you're any of the veteran players on this roster, what have you got to save it for?
Yeah.
Get out there and set the bar for the young guys. Set the bar for where training camp needs to start next year. What training camp should look like from a competitive standpoint next year. What preseason games should look like. What game one should have as far as character and effort and those things. Attention to detail and consistency. If you win tomorrow night, your last stretch of games, your last 10 to 12 games is pretty damn impressive as a hockey club. And that's a team that was inconsistent, that had a couple of losing streaks that ultimately cost them a chance to play in the playoffs. But for me, Carey, I don't know about you, but as a veteran guy on this team, I almost feel like it's more important that those guys leave on a good note so that they're not part of the casualties in the offseason.
Oh, yeah, you definitely we always talk about if it's on film, you want to have your best effort being shown. And I think what you're saying is an identity. Like, an identity, a standard for how this team is going to be going forward, what you're going to be, continue it, and finish on the right foot. You don't want to go, obviously, you're not playing for anything in terms of playoffs, but you are playing for something in terms of where will I be next year for some of these guys. Some people are going to be looking for jobs. Some people are going to be trying to keep their job here. So play every game as hard as you can and just have that identity going into the offseason and have a mindset for what you want to have, for training camp next year and for next season.
As a leader on teams and even as a player and then certainly as a coach, the one thing I used to try and hold everybody accountable to, including myself, was don't ever have a team be happy to play you.
Right.
Bottom line, you could be the worst team in the league, and that year with the Islanders, we weren't good, but nobody wanted to play us.
Yeah.
We hit everything that moved. We blocked shots. We fought everybody. It was a nightmare.
Those are the worst teams to play.
You're like, I don't want to play against these guys. Be that team, because eventually your roster's going to get better. Players are going to get better. And if you have that mentality of always being a nightmare to play against, once you're actually good, then you really are a nightmare to play against.
Yeah, I like that. I like that whole philosophy. Carey, you better be a nightmare to play against.
Ready.
Carey's going to get another shot here.
The
American Nightmare.
Yeah.
Huh?
I don't know what that means, but yeah.
So these guys are on their own program. It's fine. just clap and nod. Yeah.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Yep. From the top rope.
Mm-hmm. So Michael is going to be back to take on Carey in football after we completely blanked up yesterday, the questioning. We left it up to you to vote. What should happen? You voted.
Marsh's poll.
Yep. And you voted for a rematch between Carey and Michael in round 2. It will be football, and it will be next on 101 ESPN. I'm excited because tomorrow we're going to head to the downtown location of the Missouri Athletic Club for the college basketball, the U.S. Basketball Writers Association Awards, and we're really looking forward to it. We broadcast there. It's always a fun night because the Missouri Athletic Club, man, they do it up right. The big events that they hold, like tomorrow night, the dinner, the banquets, the people that speak, it's always top notch. But we're looking forward to being out there. The men's freshman player of the year, Reed Shepard, is supposed to be there from Kentucky. Dawn Staley, South Carolina Women's Coach of the Year, is supposed to be there. So we're looking forward to chatting with her and Calvin Sampson, the Houston Men's Coach of the Year. It's always a fun time. The Missouri Athletic Club, whether I'm taking part in going down to the West Clubhouse or we get a chance to broadcast there, it's always an enjoyable experience because, again, it's always top notch. That's my MAC. It's Missouri Athletic Club.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit mastor.com.
All right, time for the Gauntlet. 4:06, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Let's bring back Michael. Michael, were you listening yesterday when we unfortunately had the news that, some of the questions we did not have the right answers for?
Yeah, you guys sent me on quite the emotional roller coaster yesterday.
Sorry, buddy.
We fired that person, by the way.
Yeah.
Did we?
Yeah, we said Michael said you're fired. I figured Michael would back it.
Okay. All right.
Right.
He didn't come in today.
No.
Nope. All right.
Won't be here tomorrow either.
Nope, that's for sure. So, Michael, round 2 again with Carey. You ready?
Yeah, I know Carey's got an extra chip on his shoulder today, so I'm ready to take a beating here.
Oh no, that's
no! I like the strategy though. Michael making it seem like he's in the turtle position, and Carey just gonna and he's gonna come out and just be like
start punching,
like the Undertaker. Boom!
Oh, you do? So you do? Yeah.
I know the Undertaker.
Good job. All right. Good luck, Michael.
All right, Carey's going to make his way into the cone of silence right now. We won't have you spin the wheel because you already did so yesterday. It's going to be football. It's going to be a rematch. We're resetting the scores here. So, again, round 2 for Michael. He's going to take on Carey. Are you ready, Michael?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, question 1. Which team finished at the bottom of the AFC West last season? So, which team finished last in the AFC West last season?
I probably should have looked that up, but I didn't. So go ahead and give me the options.
Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Let's go with the Raiders.
Final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
All right, Michael, question number 2. When Brandon Staley got fired last season, who took over for him?
Give me the options.
Anthony Lynn, Giff Smith, Brian Callahan.
Well, I'd like to say I've heard of any of those guys, but I haven't. So let's go with the first one. Final answer.
Anthony Lynn?
Sure.
Okay.
Question number 3. Which team was Brandon Staley the defensive coordinator for before becoming the head coach of the Chargers?
You guys are killing me here. Give me the options.
Options are the Rams, the Panthers, or the Titans.
Titans, final answer.
All right, Michael. Name the last team the LA Rams defeated in the postseason.
Would that have been the Super Bowl? I'm trying to remember who they even played in the Super Bowl. I guess I'm going to need the options.
Cowboys, Lions, or Bengals?
I guess that would have been the Bengals. Final answer.
All right.
All right.
Let's bring back Carey. How you feeling, Michael?
Pretty bad.
Okay. All right.
Like it.
Uh-oh, Carey's coming in chirping.
Whoa.
What's up?
He's eating, chirping, drinking water.
I'm ready.
Spitting fire.
Just we're talking with Matthew Rocchio and this.
Sorry about that.
No, that's my guy.
Surprised he came back in.
Rock's is my guy.
Yeah, I know. He's surprised he got away.
Rock and I have great conversations about all things. And sometimes they did get a little, spicy.
Uh-huh.
I like
He's
that.
very opinionated, as am I.
He
knows a lot,
digs
too.
his
He knows
heels in.
so much.
Mm-hmm. Rock knows a lot about a lot.
He does.
He does.
I'm here. But that was quick. Michael must have ran through those questions. That's bit of a problem.
Lunch.
All right.
Whatever you're eating already.
Go get another one after this, I guess.
All right, Carey. Question 1. Which team finished at the bottom of the AFC West last season? Who finished last in the AFC West division?
Oh, was it the Broncos? Not the Chiefs. Was it the Chargers? Oh, Chargers have a very high pick. But that was because I know the Broncos or the Chiefs. So it's either the Raiders. Let's go. I'm gonna regret this. Let's go Chargers. Final answer. You said AFC West, right? Let me make sure
Yes.
the right conference. All right, right division. Thank you.
Question number 2. When Brandon Staley got fired last season, who took over for him?
Oh. When did Brandon Staley get fired, Anthony?
Last year.
Yeah, it was last season.
Oh, this is terrible.
Jamie's right.
Give me the options. Oh, why don't I know?
Sorry, it was 2023.
Was it Anthony Lynn, Giff Smith, or Brian Callahan? Couple of household names for you.
Yeah. Did they bring Anthony Lynn back? I don't think so. I don't even know who Giff Smith is. Giff Smith?
Yep.
Giff?
Some
Smith?
say it's Jiff Smith.
Jiff.
No, this is Giff.
All right. And who was the last one? Brian Callahan?
Yeah, old Callie.
Oh, man. This is bad. Anthony Lynn, final answer. Don't think that's right.
Question number 3. Which team was Brandon Staley the defensive coordinator for before becoming the head coach of the Chargers?
The Los Angeles Rams, final answer.
Last question. Name the last team the LA Rams defeated in the postseason.
They won the Super Bowl. They beat the Bengals. And they said F those picks, and they didn't make it. Actually, were they in the playoffs last year? Let's go Cincinnati Bengals. Final answer.
All right, let's go over these.
I don't like how Jamie just stares into my soul. He doesn't give me anything. Like, just stares at me. Good, bad, or indifferent. He just stares. Like, just the answer you want
Looks
to go
like
with?
Daniel Jones.
What are you doing during break, Jamie?
I'd need help to be looking like Daniel Jones. Not sure what, but they certainly would need help to look like that.
All right, question 1. Which team finished at the bottom of the AFC West last season? Carey, you went with the Chargers. Michael, you asked for the options. You went with the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Correct answer is...
Well, the Raiders did fire their head coach.
Yeah.
But so did the LA Chargers. LA Chargers.
Chargers, the correct answer. Carey's got a 2-0 lead. When Brandon Staley got fired last season, who took over for him? You both took the options. You both said Anthony Lynn. Correct answer is...
Well, guys, I don't know how you don't remember Giff Smith taking over.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, they call
That's
him
not
Giffy.
even a person.
Carey, I mean...
Did you know that?
No.
I've never heard that name before
I
in
knew
my life.
it wasn't Lynn, and I knew it wasn't Callahan.
I knew it wasn't Callahan.
I don't know who
I've
Giff
never
Smith
heard
is.
of Giff Smith.
No.
Really?
I was like, this is not a person.
Right.
Gotta be Anthony Lynn.
You're the football guy.
Yeah, clearly. I
never heard of him either.
Smith?
I thought it was a joke when I saw this. I was like, what?
Yeah, so Carey's up 2-0. Which team was Brandon Staley the defensive coordinator for before becoming the head coach of the Chargers? Michael, with the options, you said Titans. Carey, without the options, you said Rams. Correct answer is...
It's those pesky Rams.
It is the Rams. Carey up 4-0. Name the last team the LA Rams defeated in the postseason. Michael, with the options, you said Bengals. Carey, without the options, you said Bengals. Correct answer is...
It is the Bengals.
Michael.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose.
Sorry, Michael.
Good
It was
job, Michael.
it was a tough one, man. I got you 6-1.
That's all right.
Yeah. Sorry, Michael.
Good job, Michael.
I'm going to start a poll on Twitter tonight and see
I don't blame you, buddy. Not one bit. Hey, have a good rest of your week. Thanks for listening.
All right, thanks, guys.
Take care.
I see you, Michael. We had one here on the text line. Win one for the Giffer.
Win one for the Giffer. That's good.
I've never heard of that person.
Does he
Where did
exist?
come from?
Let's Google this guy.
I looked him up.
It's
His name's
it's the right
Giff.
answer.
When did they fire Brandon Staley?
I think there was
What
like
week?
3 weeks left, right?
It wasn't early enough.
No,
It was
was
late.
It was
yeah.
late.
It was late. It was late enough for us not to pay attention
Didn't
to
he
who
pay
they.
attention? Giff Smith?
Yeah.
I didn't.
Hard to believe they didn't give that guy the head coach job this year.
Right. Yeah. No kidding.
With his resume.
They went with Harbaugh. I mean, why? You know.
Clearly. What has he done?
Have you seen Jim Harbaugh's glasses, by the way?
No.
Yeah, they're
Have you ever
huge.
have you ever seen that movie Hot Shots? Walleye Vision?
Yeah.
Every time he turns sideways,
You can see.
it's like,
Yeah.
I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
I don't know if there's LASIK available. If there is, I know he can afford it.
Yeah.
Or if he just chooses to wear
Some people can't get
magnifying
LASIK.
glasses on his face. But I was like, oh my gosh.
Pretty long.
I'm not making fun of it. It is what I got to wear glass. I got readers now. God knows where I'll end up in a couple of years from now. I might be right there with you, Harvey.
Yeah.
Me and him sharing glasses.
Didn't they used to call that guy Bad Luck or something? What? The guy in the movie Hot Shots? Bad Luck or
I don't know.
something.
They used to say he has walleye vision.
Yeah.
That's all I remember. And he had those glasses.
I think it was the same actor that was on with Charlie Sheen in
Two and a Half Men. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where they got their start. I don't know.
You just staltered me.
I did.
All right, where does Sonny Gray stack up against the league's best? We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN.
Bet the NBA play-in tournament. I mean, who wouldn't want to bet the NBA play-in tournament? Over at FanDuel, you get a no-sweat same-game parlay. It doesn't matter if you're new to FanDuel or if you already have an account. Carey, you'll get bonus bets back if your same-game parlay doesn't win on any Tuesday night matchup.
Yeah, Jamie, you can bet on everything from rebounds to assists to three-pointers made and so much more. All you have to do is visit FanDuel.com/fast to shoot your shot on America's #1 sportsbook.
NBA same-game parlays are the perfect way to combine your plays for a chance at a bigger payday. And however you want to play, just head to FanDuel.com/fast to bet on the NBA with a no-sweat same-game parlay. That's FanDuel.com/fast, and then you can make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. As Carey mentioned, with these play-in games, there's all kinds of ways to bet with FanDuel. First basket, player props, all kind of game props. Or if you just want to do traditional point spreads and over-unders, got it there too at FanDuel. Must be 21 or older and present in Illinois. Minimum 3-leg parlay required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Max refund $5 unless otherwise specified. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Gray, outstanding again last night. That's 2 starts in a row for Sonny Gray, who is still getting stretched out. He's between 70 and 75 pitches the first 2 games, but man, he looked lights out again. Has yet to give up a run in his 2 appearances. One versus the Phillies, where he went 5, allowed 5 hits. Again, no runs, 5 strikeouts. And then last night in Oakland, 6 innings of work, scattered 4 hits, 6 strikeouts. We talked about the pitch arsenal. You know, he can go to 6 pitches. Command is there on all of them. Tough at bats now for anybody that is trying to eliminate certain pitches because, you know, hey, maybe Sonny Gray doesn't have a feel for a certain pitch. Nope. Good luck. You get in there and it becomes a bit of a guessing game. So Sonny Gray on point for sure. Where does he stack up against the league's best? Jamie, I thought you brought up a great point earlier when we were talking about Sonny Gray. You said, at the very least, you go into a wild card series, you know you have a shot because of Sonny Gray. That's how I would that's where I would put Sonny Gray. If we're just going to summarize this thing. If you want to get into, like, if you're going to nitpick where he is ranking wise and all that, at this point in the season,
what's his ERA
subjective.
right now?
0.00. So he's the best.
Best to do it.
He's the best.
We're going to cherry pick our stats. There's the one I want.
There you go. But Sonny Gray will give you, assuming that there's no fall off here, and you know we'll see as the season wears on. But he's going to give you a shot.
I thought BT mentioning something was interesting, that they didn't talk about his velocity at all, because we've gotten so enamored with how hard pitchers throw that I think we forget that pitching, and Jack Flaherty told us we didn't know the art of pitching. We're learning it right now from Sonny Gray. The movement on his pitches, it might be a 93 mile per hour sinker, but the movement is fantastic. And I think that I've always throwing hard is wonderful. I mean, but eventually major league hitters are going to catch up to it at some point. But when you're able to have movement, have great location, change, vary your speeds and keep people off balance, I think that's what he's doing, and he's doing a fantastic job of it, and he's looking outstanding. And again, to your point, Jamie, what you said earlier, just imagine when he's allowed to go 90 pitches, maybe get up to 100 pitches. He will be. You predicted that he's probably going to have a couple of complete games at some point this year. The way he's pitching right now, I don't disagree at all.
Yeah, and so, kind of piggybacking off the velocity thing we talked about earlier, saying he doesn't have to reach back for 97, 98. I think the biggest part of his game is, one, having 6 pitches to pick from, and then his pitch location. BT talked about it. It's less work for the catcher. You spend less time framing pitches than you have to because the pitcher's dotting exactly, or at least close to exactly, where he's trying to pitch.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot easier. And that's why, pick your guy in the National League. Let's say it's a wild card game. Padres are the opponent. Who are the Padres running out there?
Yu Darvish? Probably Yu Darvish, yeah.
Do you feel all that uncomfortable running out?
Actually, it'd probably be Dylan Cease.
Okay, Dylan Cease, Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
I feel okay.
I feel good, yeah.
I feel okay.
Yep.
I don't think it's like a dominant thing, but if Sonny Gray pitches the way he's shown us that he can, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. And the Braves don't have anybody now. I mean, they lost Spencer Strider for the year. Not that they can't throw somebody out there that eventually turns into an ace or something, but
and Bobby Miller on the IL as well.
Probably.
And Bobby Miller's on the IL as well
for the
Los
Dodgers.
Angeles.
Yeah. Then they got Yamamoto.
Anthony, we know they got a lot of guys.
Oh, okay.
They paid for them.
Yeah, certainly did.
Yeah, that checkbook baseball.
Yeah.
Checkbook baseball. What the hell are they doing over there, huh?
Yeah.
Getting great pitchers.
But the Braves, you're right. Braves probably trade for some, because right now it's Charlie Morton. It is Chris Sale. It is a couple of young guys.
That's not enough.
No.
They need to find a number one or an ace at the deadline.
Right. If it's the Phillies, obviously you're dealing with Zach Wheeler or Aaron Nola, or now the new ace, Spencer Turnbull.
Seriously.
Last week.
That guy throwing grease BBs out there.
Well,
but there's nobody, and this was kind of the point that a lot of people were making when I talked about probably last week about the ace, right? And people are like, well, who's an ace these days? They're few and far between. And they were right when they said that. And now that the injuries continue to pile up, yeah, there's no bona fide, surefire ace on every single team.
We got a text here. When is the segment where we praise Mo for going out and signing a legitimate number one starter? Thank you, Mo, for your text. But yeah, we're right here.
Damn.
That's right here. We're giving him praise. That was Mo texted it.
I've never badmouthed Mo for this signing.
No.
Like
Not this one.
Randy was all over. He hated the Sonny Gray. Didn't hate it. He was like, well, we should have gone, which is fine. for me, my opinion has never been shame on Mo for signing Sonny Gray. I thought it was a good signing.
It was more so, but what else?
Yeah, what's next?
Yeah.
And the what's next was Kyle Gibson and Lance Lynn. I would have liked it to have been something a little more.
Blake Snell.
Well, yeah, but I'm not even going that far.
He's been roughed
Jordan
up.
Montgomery.
Quite honestly, I think Jordan Montgomery.
He got roughed up in spring training.
Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell were never going to be Cardinals after he signed Sonny Gray. So I tried to think logically, too, and think about who could be a number 2. Because Miles Michaelis, he's really a 3, probably, on a competitive team. But Mo didn't go get that number 2. He just let it be the way it was. And so I think that's where the miss was. The miss for me wasn't Sonny Gray. I think that was a great play.
Yeah, we never. Yeah, this show didn't never criticize that signing.
No, not that one.
Jamie's right. It was more big picture wise of like, okay, are you making the same mistake that you've had in previous years? The benefit of hindsight now with Steven Matz pitching as well as he has, that wasn't the case going into the year. You're wondering if he can stay healthy.
Question marks all over
He's
the
a
rotation.
fifth guy.
There were.
And if you're saying that you didn't have any question marks about Steven Matz, then I question where you've been the last 2 years. So it was big picture, not necessarily just Sonny Gray. No, it was a very good signing.
And Carey, you mentioned Jordan Hicks. I wonder if the Cardinals do sign Jordan Hicks or re-sign him to become a starting pitcher. I wonder what the fan base thinks of that, because hindsight's 2020. We know now that he's pitching really well.
Well, for now.
But I wonder what the fan base reaction would have been if Mo was like, hey, we're actually going to turn Jordan Hicks into a starting pitcher. Mm-hmm. I don't think it would be.
No, people would have said, except for Carey, people would have said, you've gone down this road before. Why are you doing it again?
And I still say pump the brakes a little bit. He's had a great start to the season, and I'm happy for him. And I hope he goes on to have a Cy Young-esque season. If so, great for Jordan Hicks. But again, he was a bullpen pitcher, a closer at that, and now he's been made a starter. Let's see if he's got the longevity to go for the season the way he's going right now.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, because if he is, as you said, a Cy Young, top 3 vote getter, that's a problem for me, because especially depending on how.
But who could have seen that though? Truly, Carey. Do you think you would have had
has been adamant with the San Francisco Giants?
Me and the San Francisco Giants.
Okay, it's easy to say that. But hear me out. It's easy to say that, but like if you were John Mozeliak, do you think you would have had the Liberty Bells to be like, I'm going to give this guy starting money?
I think as again, when you're in a position of leadership, you make decisions that everyone is not going to agree with. That's part of the job. That comes with the territory. You have to make hard decisions that people are going to look at you like you got 4 heads. What the hell are you doing? You don't know what the hell you're doing. Yeah, I've been doing this for a while. I kind of do know what I'm doing. So if he were willing to make that decision, that's a decision. Now, if it works out, everyone praises you. If it doesn't, everyone looks at you like you're crazy, and they say, well, we told you it wasn't going to work out. It's similar to signing older pitchers in Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson, where people say, well, they're older. Now, they're performing right now, but when they don't, people will say, well, what did you expect? They were older gentlemen. They gave up a lot of hits and home runs last year. What was the expectation?
Do you think there was more certainty surrounding Lynn and Gibson than there was Hicks as a starter?
So maybe.
Percentage-wise?
Maybe. But do you prefer talent or what you perceive as more talent versus a known commodity?
Yeah.
Because the unknown in Jordan Hicks is he's really freaking talented.
And the unknown is maybe he stinks.
Maybe, but the talent usually figures its way out. If you're talented and you can play and you have a high skill level. But that's not how they do things
here in Cardinal Nation.
Oh, I don't know.
They go for the most certain thing that they can find.
That's not how I guess you win that way, but you usually hit big when you
win-ish.
When you take a shot.
That way.
Yeah, everybody. People want to win.
We have our Sports Six-Pack next. If you got a question, send it into the Air Comfort Service tax line, 314-399-9646. Nah, we just got Joe Vitale coming up in 15 minutes, and knowing us, we'll probably get through one question for the six-pack, so I'm just moving us along.
Call it carryover. We do it all the time.
I know, but we can't because of Joe. That's what I'm saying.
Provocative. Makes him crazy.
Yeah, okay.
Keep people going.
Sports Six-Pack next. Well, as you know, the rain is here again. It's raining today, and if you're in the need of a new roof, or maybe you just have a leaky roof or a damaged roof, the Happy Roof Company should be your first call. In fact, if you call today at 314-665-3001, they will have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours. Because at the Happy Roof Company, they know that if you do have an issue with a roof and all of the spring weather brings in all the rain, they want to get you set up correctly and done efficiently. Again, if you call today, Happy Roof Company will have your issue, somebody to look at your issue within 24 hours. 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs, financing options available. They've got excellent project communication, up-to-date product knowledge, and they don't chase storms. They're not one of these companies that come in and out of different markets hoping to capitalize on one big storm. 100% of their market is in St. Louis and the surrounding areas, and Happy Roof Company's headquarters located right there in Sunset Hills. Cost-effective solutions on flat roofing and metal roofs, free estimates with competitive pricing. 314-665-3001, thehappyroof.com. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's the Happy Roof Company.
.101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. A sad day in St. Louis and for Cardinal Nation as we mourn the loss of legendary Hall of Fame and World Series champion manager Whitey Herzog. He passed away at the age of 92. We talked earlier today with Brad Thompson, and we've also been taking your mic drops and your thoughts and memories about Whitey Herzog. If you missed that interview with Brad Thompson, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals won 3-1 last night over the Oakland Athletics. Lance Lynn takes the mound against J.P. Sears tonight, 8:40 first pitch. And something just came out. Maybe we're not doing the Sports Six-Pack next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff, Chevrolet, and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together, we drive. Are you kidding me? Fastline on 101 ESPN. That sounder means it's time to play the lineup game. Cardinals, A's. Game 2. Lance Lynn versus J.P. Sears, the left-hander.
Oh,
we got an LHP tonight, boys.
LHP, yeah, you know me.
Normally it's kind of a copy and paste situation.
Not a bad thing. Don't say that like that's a bad thing.
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying. You know,
copy and
normally
paste
it's
is okay.
Brennan Donovan.
Well, it's going to be Donnie baseball again.
I think it's
batting
Donnie
against
baseball.
lefties.
Let's do it.
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
We're on our way, fellas.
One for one, boys.
RL Chalk here. Show us the chalk, please.
Chalk. Yeah.
Get my tub of chalk.
This was Newt. There it is.
Yeah, probably not Newt here.
Probably not the Newt.
And not Gorman, so I would say it's
Really?
Contreras.
Yes.
You have at it.
Show us Wilson Contreras.
DH. No.
Edgesmith. Check.
All right.
Well, this is easy so far.
Carey, you want to
Show
do it?
us Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here. Come on.
That is Carla Tortelli.
Is it?
Yep. That is. I was waiting for it, too. I remember that show. Love that show.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody knows your name,
Yeah,
Carey.
you remember. Cheers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Ted Danson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So the 5-hole.
He goes. Ted Danson. And
I couldn't remember her name. What was the other lady's name? Nah, don't worry about it. The other bartender.
Oh, her real name?
Yeah.
oh, I forget.
Come on.
I have no idea.
Text line.
Sam and Diane.
Diane.
Yeah.
It's her real name, though.
I don't know.
Dr. Fraser Crane.
Yeah.
Right.
Got his own
Norm.
show after that.
Norm.
Cliff.
Well, you know, you're back in 1916.
Yeah.
This is how they develop paper.
Uh-huh. He's now like in every Pixar movie as some character.
He is,
Oh, yeah.
you're right.
He's the pig, right?
So
I think he's the pig.
He's
No, that's the
Ham.
What's wrong with
Ham is his name.
Ham.
Yeah. He's in Cars too.
Not real.
He's Mac.
Yeah. Yeah. Christy
Anyways.
Alley.
Christy Alley.
No, that's not her. That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah,
That's what
I was thinking of the blonde,
Yeah,
Diane.
the blonde, Diane.
I was
Forget
talking
her
about
name.
Christy Alley.
Christy Alley was later on, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
Rebecca was her name.
Oh, yeah.
Called her
Yeah.
Backseat Becky. That's what Sam called her.
Oh boy. All right.
I didn't do it.
We're to 5, gentlemen.
All right.
So I don't think Gorman's in the lineup against the lefty.
I don't think you're right.
Okay.
All right. This is where it starts.
Yeah.
Can we come to a consensus? Can we all agree on this before we just make a? Why do you stare at me like you like I'm speaking a different language? You don't want to agree?
But you're staring at me when you say it.
Well, I'm talking to you.
Well, wait, he's not there either?
He's not talking.
But why don't you look at the group then? It's like the coach says, you all need to play better, but he's making eye contact with you.
Well, then I'm talking to you then, buddy.
Well, what's your problem?
I don't know, man. All right, what do you want? Who do you want? You want Gorman? You don't
We
want
usually
Gorman.
always come to a consensus, Carey, unless
Not
you blurt
always.
it out.
All right, this is true. So now it's my fault.
This is your fault.
I don't know.
Anthony's a bystander.
I was going to say Jordan Walker, but then
That's
I'm like,
too high.
pump the brakes.
Yeah.
So that's...
What about Mason Wynn? No, that's 5. Oh, no, it's too far.
I think it's got to be Gorman for me. You need a little pop here in the middle of the order.
Jamie.
Or is it Herrera?
What if you play the guy that actually, is hitting? One of the guys is actually hitting.
Herrera?
I'm just saying, yeah.
I'm for it.
You do it then.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
You said it.
Anthony, you go ahead.
Did you see that?
What?
The way Carey looked at me when he said that?
No, I'm surprised he was looking at you.
Fine, then you do it. He wants me to fail. Fine. Show us Ivan Herrera.
I'm just going to say this right now. I think Ivan Herrera is going to hit a home run.
Yes. Anthony, you did it. Like he said.
Let you be the hero.
That ballpark.
Oh, yeah. He was secretly hoping I'd fail.
No,
so that he could be right.
Carey's a team guy. He didn't want anybody to
I want
fail.
people to win.
Are we 5 for 5?
Is this Lars? Yeah.
Nice.
You say
So we
Lars?
Is Gorman in or out?
I think he's out.
Okay.
Well, who's playing second base? Oh,
Donnie.
Donnie's playing second base because
I think it's
Herrera's
Donovan at
DH.
second. I
Yeah.
think
There you go.
goalie at
Newt
first.
left field.
So it's got to be Newt here.
Win. Who are we missing? What position? Walker.
Left
so
field.
I think it goes Newt, Walker.
We're missing an entire outfield.
Hang on a second. I think it goes Newt,
Hang on a second.
Newt, Walker, Scott, Win, or Win Scott. One of the two. I think it's Newt and Walker, the next two.
I think this is Lars right here.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead.
Show us Lars Newbar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt.
All right.
A newt. Got better.
I think this is Jordan Walker.
This is Walker, yeah.
Instead of Win? Because it was Win here yesterday, and Walker was batting 8th.
I think this is
Jordan.
Jordan Walker.
Especially with a lefty on the bump.
Yeah.
Show us Jordan Walker.
Not great.
Told you, Anthony.
Show us Mason Wynn.
I don't know if it's him either.
My fingers hurt.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
That's gonna hurt. Because you just pull landscaping duty.
It took me a second.
That's awesome.
By the way, obviously, that's a new sounder.
That's
That was
awesome.
courtesy of Jake, who reached out to me yesterday via Twitter.
Neighbors?
And not Jake Neighbors, no. But thought it was thought it was necessary for
I didn't
today.
hear it.
You didn't hear that one? Go ahead, because Carey was distracted. He was too busy being angry.
I was angry.
Even though he was right.
You want to hear it again?
I would love to, please.
My fingers hurt.
Oh, well. Oh, now your back's gonna hurt. Because you just pull landscaping duty.
Anybody else's fingers hurt? All right, now it's Walker.
Walk it like it's hot. Go ahead, Anthony.
Show us Jordan Walker.
What's his angle?
What angle? Launch!
Launching now.
And then
Victor Scott.
Scotty here.
Yeah.
Show us Scotty.
No.
What? Siani.
Super bad.
It's got to be.
Siani? Or is it Burley? Does he make the lineup at Newton Center?
Oh, no.
I think it's super bad.
All right.
You think it's super?
But why would you not have?
Siani's a lefty, right?
So was Victor Scott.
So is Victor.
So is Burley.
So is Burley, yeah.
It's all lefties.
Crawford.
It's not Crawford. Show us super bad, Marsh.
Michael!
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
All right, Marsh, you're on it.
All right, leading off, playing second base, Brendan Donovan. Batting second, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Batting third, your catcher, Wilson Contreras. Your cleanup hitter, third baseman, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth, the DH, Ivan Herrera. Batting sixth in left field, Lars Nootbaar. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting eighth in right field is Jordan Walker. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Michael Siani.
Back. Stay fair! Go fair! I don't believe what I just saw! Home run!
All right, Jamie.
All right, I'm going to make this quick. RL chalk for me today. Goldie. Lefty on the bump. Goldie mashes. Left-handed pitching.
Marshy.
I'm going to go with Wilson Contreras tonight.
Wood. That's a good one.
Give me Jordan Walker.
Oh, boy.
I'm just I'm gonna keep dialing this up.
Eventually,
you're gonna run into one eventually.
I love the thought.
At some point,
It's gotta
gotta
happen.
go 160 games without one.
I'll go. Well, give me Arenado. Nolan Arenado.
All right.
I got to get on the board here. Okay, we're going to talk to Joe Vitale next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and April is here, and with the springtime weather, it's important to have quality windows. If yours won't open to let in the fresh air or won't seal tight to keep out the pollen and bugs, or maybe they've been leaking water all winter, then it's your time to talk to the experts at Window Nation. Right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get 2 windows free. There's no limit to how much you could save. You could save even more with no interest or no payments for 24 months. Window Nation's windows come with a lifetime warranty and can be installed in 1 day or less with proven quality and service. When you buy from Window Nation, you can rest assured you're getting affordable windows that meet or beat the ones from the national brand names. Don't miss out on your chance to afford quality windows with an unlimited buy 2, get 2 free, plus 0 interest or payments for 24 months. You cannot afford to wait. You can also get a house of windows. And you can get a free pair of St. Louis Cardinals tickets. It's easy. Just call 866-90-NATION or visit them online at windownation.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
Vitale views things a little differently. Just imagine how he looks at hockey. Whoa! This is The View from Vitale, brought to you by Scott Lee Heating Company, a proud Mitsubishi Electric Elite contractor.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Joe Vitale now joining us via the 101 ESPN Celebrity Line. What's up, Joe?
Stalter, what's going on, man?
Not much. Unfortunately for our Blues, they've been eliminated, but look, you still got one more game going on tomorrow. I wanted to ask you about Jordan Carey. He's been on a streak here of late. Anything differently in his game that you can point out to us that maybe wasn't there previously?
You know, I think the biggest thing is he's using his speed. He's going wide. You know, he's such a fast, electric skater. You know, his linear going north style hockey, it's explosive. When he goes from south to north and he doesn't waste a lot of time going east and west, it can throw defenders off. And I think that this is something that Craig Berube tried to get out of him for a long time. And there was moments where it looked really great, and it just really wasn't sustainable for whatever reason. And I think Drew Bannister has made the similar comments. You know, when Jordan Carey is not at his best, he's pulling up, going east-west, walking the blue lines a lot, instead of just, taking a step in the outside. You know, and it kind of goes back to, I've been talking to a lot of coaches around the country about this, and not saying this is, Jordan Carey's issue or not issue, however you want to look at it, but a lot of young hockey players, the way they're being developed right now, there's all these creative obstacles. They have these creative, fake players and these stick handling obstacles that are basically a lot of people are making a lot of money on when you're doing a lot of skills coaches and you're doing a lot of skills clinics. You see these kids kind of, dancing and tic-tac and handling through all these obstacles, and they're great for Instagram, and they're obviously they sell a lot of these products. And a lot of times these skill sessions are based around these type of skill sets. Now the issue becomes, and again, this isn't necessarily just on Jordan Carey. You see this kind of league wide. I think players get so ingrained in them that, you have to go through an obstacle. And then you think of it on a game, the obstacle is the defender. So you're coming up the ice, it's a one-on-one. Instead of just going wide and making their life a lot easier, I think instinctually a lot of these young players are actually thinking they have to actually go through the defender. And, of course, they try going through the triangle or their skates or underneath their stick, and they typically end up losing the puck a lot. So that's what Drew Bannister saw a lot of this year. Just he's losing the puck a lot, trying to go through defenders instead of just going wide. So I think that now that he's using his speed to go wide, it's certainly one of those things that has helped him tremendously lately.
Joey, of all the young guys that have made an appearance in the Blues lineup this year, whether making the team originally or being called up, who has surprised you the most? Or rather, maybe even, what has a few of them done that have surprised you in a pleasant way?
Riz, there's the obvious ones. The Matthew Kessel, he came up and he established himself right away. I think he can manage your top four defender next year for this team coming out of camp. Clearly Jake Neighbors, to me, is the most improved player. To me, maybe a not so obvious one. There's not enough people I think are talking about, and I think that you don't see right from the optics standpoint off the bat really what the ripple effect of this player has done. To me, has been Joe Hofer. You look at the way he has backed up this year, the way he's created himself a winning season, the way he has come in some tough games, usually the second game of back-to-backs when the team in front of him is tired, whether it be going to Florida and getting a win, whether it be going to Vancouver and getting a win. This kid has won some big games in some big buildings. And I think that it kind of it's the gamesmanship. I think it's the stoic approach he has to the game, the professionalism. He really has been a kid that has solidified himself as a bona fide backup. And I look at his own game, and yes, certainly individually it's been there, and I love him for a young guy like you mentioned. Then there's the ripple effect. There's the ripple effect of what does that mean for your starting goaltender. Last year, Jordan Binnington, he did not have a lot of help with Thomas Greiss. When you have a backup that's not winning you games, any goaltender will tell you it puts a lot of pressure on that starting goaltender to not only go in there and have this pressure to win games when he's in, but you really never can take a break. Even when you're out of games and you're sitting on the bench and you're watching your team lose, there's that pressure. You just never feel like you're getting a full rest. They compare it to in football where a quarterback, when the running game is going great, that's when the passing game can open up because the quarterback's not feeling a lot of pressure. And I think for Binnington, as good of a year as he's had, a lot of credit has to go to Joe Hofer and the fact that he's come in this year and done a great job.
Joey, I've played on a team where we went 8-8 and missed the playoffs, and if we'd have won one extra game, probably made the playoffs. One of those losses was to a 5-12, a 5-11 Cleveland Browns team. Have you gotten a sense of how this team feels knowing that they were just a few games, maybe missed out on some games from being in the playoffs?
Yeah, I do, Carey. I do. I think that this team is certainly, licking their wounds on some of these losses, whether it be, going, 0-2-1 against the San Jose Sharks. And then you break the game down even further. I mean, you go into that final game in San Jose, for example. I mean, this is a team right after that Nashville Predators game where you kind of felt like they were just done. But even if you go out and you win that game, and then they continue to go off, and then they beat the Ducks, and they came home and won a couple more, they were still right there. I mean, it was just that close. So not only the games, but also the plays within the game where you're like, man, if we could have just got one more save or just got one more goal. I mean, to me, if it's a difference of maybe one or two players going on a little bit more of a heater than they did this year. I mean, you're looking at the heater that Jordan Kyrou is going on right now. If Jordan Kyrou goes on a 6 or 7 game run when he was going through some of his dry spells this season, to me, that's the difference of 3 or 4 more wins, maybe. Look at your captain. Look at Braden Shen. I mean, he went 18 games without a goal. I mean, he went through a couple different dry spells this year. If you get your captain going and all of a sudden it's not 0 goals in 18 games, maybe it's 3 in 18, or maybe even it's 4 in 18. Nothing crazy, nothing drastic, but you'd be surprised what 1, 2, or 3 more goals can do for you. So, it is unfortunate. You look at it from a team standpoint. They do feel like if they could have got those team wins. But as you continue to break it down, you're looking at a team that are looking at a few goal scorers that just got a little bit too dry in a couple different chapters of this season, and it just didn't work out. And a lot of teams, it's not the goal scorers, it's the goaltending. Luckily for St. Louis, they're not looking at this season and saying, man, we just had some bad goaltending for that 10-game segment, or that first chapter, we just couldn't get a save. It's never been the issue. So that, to me, is always going to be positive. It's just about maybe next year, you're looking at your top players. They got to be top for 6 out of 8 games, 9 out of 10 throughout certain stretches. That was something that Ryan O'Reilly, we miss our captain, but that was what he was so good about. And I talked to him about that. He said, listen, everyone's going to have a bad game. But the difference between good and elite is the good players, when they have a bad game, sometimes it goes into 2 games and then 3 games, and then they bounce back. But the elite players, once that bad game happens, once that valley hits, they know exactly what they need to do to get right back on the horse, and they got to get back to their winning ways as quickly as possible. That's the difference in the McDavids and, of course, the Crosbys and the Ryan O'Reillys versus some of the players that end up going on those 8, 9, 10-game runs where they just are a little bit absent in the game.
Joe, good call. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you throughout the course of the year. Have a great call tomorrow for the Blues and the Stars, last game of the regular season. We'll talk to you again soon, Joe.
Sounds good, boys. Appreciate you guys as well. Have a great week.
Thanks, brother. We'll see you. As Joe Vitale here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Blues Stars pregame at 7:30. Hey, we have a chance right now to win a 4-pack of tickets to see next Tuesday night's Budweiser Bash game for Cardinals and Diamondbacks. Next week is the first Bud Bash game of the season. It features a limited edition Jeff Suppan bobblehead. You can text in now if you want to play, you want an opportunity to win these tickets. 314-399-9646 if you have the correct answer to our trivia question, which is, and with the unfortunate passing of Whitey Herzog, we have a Whitey Herzog themed trivia. Who did Whitey make his MLB debut with? Who did he make his MLB debut with? If you know the team, send it into the Air Comfort Service text line. Now, 314-399-9646, and then you can win some Budweiser Bash tickets for Cardinals versus Diamondbacks on April 23rd. You can get all the details on this season series of Bud Bash games now at cardinals.com/promotions. And unfortunately, I just did that right as we're going to do the Sports Six-Pack. Did you get some questions there, Marshy, before I did that?
I do have a few questions.
You'll figure it out, buddy. Sports Six-Pack next on 101 ESPN.
in the market looking for replacement windows, or if you're remodeling your home and you want to add a better window to your home, visit Window World. They are the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. And with some of these storms coming through, we've talked to a couple of people just about windows getting cracked and broken and just not being quality windows. Well, Window World, they use a double-strength glass that gives it a strength that is not commonly used in replacement windows. So that quick breakage, that doesn't happen. I took a window in the showroom, and John Gillette, the owner, told me to stand on the window. I thought he was crazy at first. Well, I stood on the window, and I kind of bounced up and down a little bit. The window did not break. That showed me that Window World has a quality window as far as durability is concerned, but how about the efficiency of it? It is way more efficient than the average window out there, and that saves you money at the end of each and every single month. They also back that up with a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor, and still offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. So please don't hesitate. Call immediately. Call Window World, 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800, or visit windowworldstlouis.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
5:05, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Here is Andrew Marsh with your questions for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number one.
All right, from the 636 for Jamie and Carey. Have you guys ever experienced a security guard interfering with your play at the professional level?
Well, not with my play, but certainly security guards getting involved in off-ice altercations. We got involved with police officers one time. I'll never forget it. The first incident that I had was playing junior hockey. We were playing against a team called the Oshawa Generals.
Okay.
And we were the visiting team, and my defense partner, he liked to scrap a lot in junior hockey. His name was Bob McIsaac from Antigonish, Nova Scotia. I tell you, where the men are men, that's for sure. There are a lot of tough guys come out of that little area. Yeah. And So we got into it. We had like this brawl on the ice, 3 or 4 guys fighting, and we get in the box, and the fan is just chirping and chirping. And this one guy, like, we're like 16, 17 years old, and this guy is like 45. He's just laying into us. And so we leave the penalty box, and Bob looks at me and says, if we go back in there, I think I'm going to kill that guy. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. You know. So we end up, of course, back in there. I don't know what happened, another scrum or whatever. We're in the penalty box, and this guy's yapping. And it was an opening. There was no door. It wasn't like a penalty box. It was a penalty area. And nothing of it. And I look over, and Bob taps me on the shoulder. He goes, I'm going to kill that guy. And takes off. He had taken his skates off in the penalty box. I hadn't paid attention. I thought he was just fixing his gear.
Yeah.
And up the stairs he goes, grabs this guy, and like, plap, 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 plap. And the fans are jumping in. So I got to run up in my skates at this point. Up into the crowd. Police officers are coming down, and they're throwing people. We're throwing police officers.
Yeah.
It was quite a mess. Nothing happened as far as like no charges and things like that.
Sure.
But next time we did go back there, they had a door there.
It's probably smart.
Yeah.
Close these guys off.
I've had a couple of those and a couple in the hallway, like in the tunnel, like underneath, where guys have been on a fight on the ice and they get kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
And then they go after each other in the tunnel behind the penalty, or behind their benches.
Yeah.
Vince Dunn did that.
And the security guards try to get involved, and then they're in the middle of it. But that's the extent of it. I don't know about you.
No, not in the NFL. No, in life maybe.
That's a different story. There are lots of those stories.
Obviously, this is in reference to last night's game when the security guard at the Oakland Coliseum just happened to be right in Ollie Marmol's way.
But let's just be honest here for a second. One, that's his job. As soon as the inning is over, you watch at Busch Stadium. As soon as the inning is over, security goes out onto the field to make sure nobody jumps on the field. Nobody's like, and the security guard, like, I thought Ollie, like, totally overreacted.
Yeah, I do too.
He, like, stiff arms him, then grabs him by the collar. By the way, that's a retired police officer. He probably could have kicked the crap out of Ollie if he wanted to.
How it looked to me, it looked like he was trying to stop him so he could see, was it Descalso? So he could see what he was telling him, up or down, thumbs up or down, whether we need to challenge this. So he looked like he was trying to stop him from blocking his view. And then it looked like when he did push the security guard or stopped him, maybe he was off balance, so he tried to grab his...
Watch it again.
I did. I watched
it 3 or 4 times, and then he tries to pull him out of the way.
No, it looked like he grabbed him to keep, because he was off balance, and he grabbed a hold of the side of his jacket to make sure he didn't fall.
So let's further it. Do you think that really mattered? He could totally see Descalso. As he gave the thumbs up, Ollie went right to the headphones. So the security guard didn't do anything.
I think he was trying to get him out of the way so the umpires could see that they wanted to actually challenge the play.
That's possible, but I thought it was a little much.
Well, I think what makes it worse is like after he may have tried to grab him or whatever.
We're gonna pull up this video again.
But he kind of looked at him again the second time, and it was like, oh, what?
They both looked at each other. What?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
But I mean, to the umpire's credit, he was also motioning to whoever it was.
Yeah. The umpire should have let him get his call there.
Yeah.
And Ollie walks out onto the field, and he's trying to blame the security guard. I mean,
whatever.
Whatever. Come on. I am watching.
He stops him. Stop. And he's almost failed.
And then he rips him out of the way.
No, he almost fell. He missed the step, and he tried to help him. And then the security guard was like,
you know what, Carey? I use that excuse my time.
I have to. I was helping the guy.
That guy was falling on his face, and I tried to help him, but I pushed him down harder.
I broke the club I broke the rake because the rake was made of wood, and I was sending it back home.
It was a weird happening either way.
He was helping him from falling.
He was trying to do his job and stop all 10 people from potentially going on the field.
Hey, if those 10 people storm the field,
what are they going to do?
Nothing. Nobody's
there. 300 people at the game.
Nobody cares enough there
at all.
There's a lot of shenanigans that goes on at that ball field. We've seen it in the past.
Question number 2.
That's more in the upper deck, though.
It's in the outfield. Bleachers. They get on top of things out there.
Mm-hmm. They certainly do. From the 314, are we overlooking David Carl? He's won 2 national championships and coached under Jim Montgomery before taking over as the head coach at Denver.
I'm sorry, I was reading a text. I was reading people's
Jamie,
texts.
this is a hockey question, so we're going to need you to.
As soon as I heard
listen.
Denver, I was like, son of a batch of biscuits.
Would you like me to reread the question?
Yeah, please.
All right. Are we overlooking, and we talked about this earlier in the show, but are we overlooking David Carl? He's won 2 national championships and coached under Jim Montgomery before taking over as head coach at Denver.
I don't think we're overlooking him. And again, I think he's a hell of a coach, and he obviously does a great job with young talent. I just don't know if that's the answer for this team. Like, is David Carl the answer, like, in Buffalo, in Chicago, in Columbus, like, where they're in a full-on rebuild? I think that's where you let the young guy come in, work with younger players, establish his culture. Like, you're in a retool here. David Carl comes in, he's got a handful of young guys, and then he's got a bunch of guys over 30. So I don't know what that recipe looks like then, ultimately.
Yeah.
It might be perfect. It might be awesome. I don't know. But I just, I think a coach like that is usually more suited for a young team that's in a rebuild.
So this is what I will say. The Stars, before hiring Jim Montgomery, were 42, 32, and 8, 92 points on the season. They came in 7th place that season, or 6th place, pardon me, 6th place that season. Very similar to what the Blues are going through. Same program,
right.
Denver
Monty
University.
was older, though. Monty was
for
older,
sure.
And Monty played in the NHL.
Just trying to connect the dots here.
I'm just telling you, Monty was older coming into that spot because he had coached a number of years in the USHL, then went on to Denver, then went on to the Dallas Stars. And Monty also, like I said, he had the player's resume to go with it. So I don't know. I don't not believe in David Carl. I just don't know if that's the answer.
Question number 3.
From the 618, the great question of what sports figure would you like to have a beer with? First time I've ever heard that question, and every time after that, my answer was always Whitey. R.I.P., and thanks for the memories.
Wow. Well, I've had a beer with a few interesting people. Had several drinks with Dennis Rodman, and that's on several different occasions. And Dennis didn't disappoint.
I'm sure.
Carey, I'll tell you some stories one day. Dennis is what Dennis is.
I'm sure.
Like, the stories are all true. So it's hard to top that when you're sitting there drinking with Dennis Rodman. Although I think I would like to have had some drinks with Babe Ruth. I feel like Babe Ruth would have been kind of interesting, like, if we're going to go back.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, I think Tiger Woods would probably be a pretty good story over a couple of cocktails.
No kidding.
You know who I mean, you said dead or alive? Is that what you said, Marshy?
I don't think it just
Mike
says what
Tyson.
sports figure.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
know how much Mike drinks anymore, though.
He probably shouldn't drink. I mean, we probably shouldn't drink together, but I would love to sit down and talk to Mike Tyson. It's just he's an interesting sports figure, just his entire life and all of the things that he's done, and one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And when you think of just tough guys, his name is at the top of the list. So he's definitely a person I would want to sit down.
That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah, I would love to talk to somebody that would be open about, like, the strategy, whether it's in-game strategy or, like, building a roster or something. I always find that stuff to be fascinating. I mean,
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Belichick. If he talks, though, right? I mean, if he sits there,
pour
he'll
a few
talk.
cocktails in him. I mean,
You would think, right? True serum works for everybody, no?
Yeah.
There was one guy that asked him about a special teams question, and he went on for like 10 minutes about special teams. I think you could get something out of Bill Belichick.
He is a football junkie.
It has to be football related, though. Like, it's not. And not he doesn't want to talk to media about personnel decisions.
No.
But if you're talking about X's and O's,
sure.
So why did you choose this coverage, or why did you do this versus this team? What was your game plan when you played this player? He would probably go on and on and on and how to stop. And when you played Peyton Manning, what were your thought processes and how to defeat him? He would probably. It would probably be mind-blowing.
Or like,
as long as he doesn't find it like you're challenging his position.
right. Or dead or alive Bill Walsh. Like Bill Walsh, just how he built a team. You could probably, if you took that philosophy, you could build a company.
You know who else I would say, since it was his day yesterday? Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Pick his brain, because I'm sure that was,
Yeah.
That was probably some.
It'd also be a very tough conversation too, just to listen to him and to just to feel for him as a human being what he went through.
Just hearing what he went through.
Exactly right. That's what I'm saying.
Just to play a sport he was passionate about.
Right.
Like, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, and was one of the best.
Yes.
All right, we carrying this over the March?
I mean, unless you want to go for another X amount of time, we still have 3 more questions left.
I mean, my God, we don't
finish this 6-pack, right?
We don't go half a 6-pack, do we?
No, not here.
No, not here.
Let's carry this over.
Yeah.
There you go.
Last 3 questions in the 6-pack. Next, don't want to win ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, then you need to learn more about my good friends over at Scrap Mart Metal. They are tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess, and sometimes it can be a hassle. But if you set up a business account with Scrap Mart Metals, it's one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed how scrap metals add up and how much it can help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, you know it's frustrating and it's often breaking down, needing repairs. Eventually, the time will come when you have to end your suffering. Scrap Mart will come get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can haul it yourself to one of their convenient locations, Valley Park, Peevely, or Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It is recycling made easy. They offer convenient drive-on scale and have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just visit them at scrapmartmetals.com. You can talk to my guy Lucas about setting up a business account to get you rolling. Again, that's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions. I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Congratulations to Rob. He won the tickets for the 4-pack of tickets to see next Tuesday night's Budweiser Bash game between the Cardinals and the Diamondbacks. We asked who did Whitey Herzog make his MLB debut with, and Rob had the correct answer. It's the Washington Senators. Washington Senators was the correct answer. So congratulations to Rob. He's got the Budweiser Bash tickets. Cardinals and Diamondbacks will continue to give out these tickets throughout the course of the week. So if you didn't win today, make sure that you're tuned in 2 to 6 next couple of days and have an opportunity to still see those Cardinals and Diamondbacks play next Tuesday night. Question 4, please.
Question number 4.
All right, we just had the beer question. If you could choose one person to have a beer with, a sports figure. Interesting question here along the same lines from the 314. If you could give truth serum to one sports figure and ask them one question, who would it be and why would the question be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive.
Carey, you going the same route here? Yeah.
Does he drive a white Ford Bronco?
Not anymore.
He didn't actually.
No,
he didn't drive.
No, he didn't drive. He didn't drive it.
Are we really asking? Are we wasting our question there? We know the answer.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
I don't know.
Yeah, we do.
The only thing I'd be concerned about is the old George Costanza effect. It's not a lie if you believe it. You know?
I think we know the answer.
Well, the text lines, looks like the text line really loves juice.
Yeah.
Orange juice.
Yeah, be careful though, that'll kill you.
What about Shohei? You wanna
him or the interpreter?
I mean him. He would be the one.
Yeah. For me, it's Pete Rose. I want.
Don't we know that already?
I was about to say, don't we know that one?
Do we? Do we really know all the ins and outs? Do we?
Did he bet on baseball?
Yeah, did he bet on his team? Did he bet against his team?
We know he bet on baseball.
We know he bet on baseball.
Lord knows there's a bookie somewhere that went to the grave with some secrets.
I'm sure.
What about Ray Lewis?
Oh. Do you? Yeah. I think we forget about. Well, not we. I think people forget about. Oh, Ray.
Where were you that night in Atlanta?
I think you know where he was.
Why did you have blood on your suit?
What about Barry Bonds?
Oh, I think we
know the answer to that too. Yeah, guy got. Do we? We don't.
What about Aaron Hernandez?
I think we know the answer to that too.
I'm not talking about the latest incident.
Oh, the other one with the other two guys that got shot?
He hit that car?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm just throwing out some ideas, guys, for you.
Some names, man. Some intriguing.
I do think it's interesting that Carey and I immediately.
I knew you guys were going right away. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, that would be my question.
Anyways.
You know what? There was another, Michael Jordan. There was
that's a good one.
Oh, there was some stuff there.
Some stories there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, we're thinking so negatively. What about some positive?
I don't think you
want
positive. What do you want to know positive?
No. I don't know.
Positive.
You're talking about truth serum. You're trying to get something out of somebody.
No. Tell us how you really felt when you won that gold medal, Herb Brooks.
It was unbelievable.
It was awesome.
Sweet. Just wasted that truth serum.
So much for that wish.
No more.
Genie back in the bottle.
That's it.
Marsh is the guy. Marsh is the guy that every press conference after some team or somebody wins something, he's like, the first question, how did it make you feel? Marsh is locked in. He can't wait to hear how it felt to win something. I think we got some good options here,
I think
Marsh.
those are some great options.
We got plenty of work to do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Question number 5.
All right, this one's from Andrew. Not me, of course. A different Andrew. Listener Andrew. BK and Ferrario. They talked today and said they would trade Jordan Kyrou, Joel Hofer, and our 2024 first-round pick for Brady Tkachuk. I love Brady, but are we sure he is even a better option for the Blues than Jordan Kyrou? Would you rather have 4 years of Brady or 7 of Kyrou?
4 years of Brady Tkachuk.
Whatever I can with Brady Tkachuk.
Yeah, I would.
No offense to any player on the Blues, because I'd be willing to trade almost any player on the team for him. Bottom line, Brady Tkachuk, I've said it a number of times, him and his brother Matthew are unicorns in today's NHL. They score, they hit, they fight, they change the culture of locker rooms. Yeah, it's not my job to go trading players, but if I had the option of acquiring a Brady Tkachuk for whatever it is, I'm doing it.
Sign me up. Yeah, completely with Jamie on that one. I would be faxing over the information to Ottawa and the NHL.
Fax it?
Yeah, don't they still fax?
No, I should just send telegram.
Text better. You send an email. No, hey, email.
Hold on. When a league,
you mail it first class.
You write it.
And then fax it.
What do they do if they'll in a situation where there's a trade or something like that?
They send an email.
As if that's any better.
Why'd you look at me like I was crazy when I said email?
I didn't know what email was 2 minutes ago.
Give you some true serum.
Don't do that. Nope. I'd rather die.
Anyway,
question number 6.
All right, final question comes from Tanisha from the Snake Pit. What goes into deciding who will be a St. Louis Blues captain?
Well, there's a lot of things for any organization that picks a captain. You want to make sure it's a player that has the respect of the room. You want to make sure it's a player that embodies what it is to be a part of your franchise. You want it to be a player that gives more of himself than takes from the team. And to me, it's got to be a guy that is willing to work with a lot of different people. It's not just going to migrate to like-minded people. The biggest challenge of a leader is taking somebody who's not like-minded as you are and turning them into what you need them to be for your team.
Is it a player's vote or is it management?
No.
Is it because in the NFL we vote for captains, but it's generally, it depends. Players, colleges, players.
There's some
pick.
There might be some discussions with players or the leadership group. But it's usually the general manager and the head coach that decide that, or the coaching staff that.
Did they ever get it wrong?
Oh, listen. They get it wrong.
You get a guy with a C on his sweater. You're like, who the hell picked this guy?
And all of a sudden the C disappears 2 years later. Yeah. It happens. That's why, for a little bit there in the NHL, the C was being given to players with term. Mm-hmm. Well, he's going to be here for another 6 years. Might as well make him captain. It was easy to do that instead of like a captain every 2 years.
Yeah.
I do think that the NHL is changing that trend to a certain degree, where they're picking true leaders now.
Gotcha.
Now, if that leader happens to have term on his contract, obviously that's a bonus.
Right.
And if you put 2 and 2 together, if a guy is worthy of being a captain, he probably is going to have some years on his contract because you thought that highly of him. But yeah, it's not an automatic that your captain is good, and it's not an automatic that you keep him wearing that C.
All right, we need a new Beat the Street contestant. So if you want, poor Dylan. Dylan had a nice run, man. And Dylan set the pace for the listeners now with what, 4, Marsh?
Yes.
Four correct selections. That is the listeners' new streak. But we do need a new Beat the Street contestant because Dylan, unfortunately, had Nolan Gorman last night, and Gorman went 0 for Gopher. So 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Text in BTS, and you'll have an opportunity to play Beat the Streak. We got biggest question of the day and Beat the Streak next on 101 ESPN. Jamie, when it comes to purchasing a home, you want to make sure that you go not only with the right realtor, of course, but if the realtor has somebody that he wants you or she wants you to talk to when it comes to a lending standpoint, at the very least, you got to call our guy Stewie. Whether you're working with a previous lender, call Stewie and have him at least take a look at the loan for you. Because a lot of times you're going to save money over the long haul, not just because he can secure you a great rate, but he's also got the bagel loan, Jamie.
Yeah, the bagel loan, if you don't know what that is, if you're borrowing $200,000 or more, there's no underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no title fees, no closing costs. I mean, Stewie really goes to the end of the earth to make sure that you can get that purchase done and to help you out as well. And he also offers that old school customer service. Stewie wants to get your call. He wants to get your text. He wants to help you. Maybe you're even trying to consolidate some debt, whatever it is. You might even want to know what the interest rate's going to be in 3 months from now. Stewie's going to do his best to educate everybody, and he cares a lot about our 101 ESPN listeners. So if you're purchasing a home or you're looking to consolidate debt, any of those things, make Stewie your first phone call. His number, 314-324-4440.
Again, 314-324-4440.
And Anthony, if you can't remember that, it's real easy. What do?
You can always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Today, Cardinal Nation mourns the loss of legendary Hall of Fame and World Series champion manager Whitey Herzog. He passed away at the age of 92. We talked earlier today about Whitey Herzog with Brad Thompson. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. The Cardinals won last night 3-1 over the Oakland Athletics. They'll take on the A's once again as Lance Lynn takes the mound going up against J.P. Sears. 8:40 first pitch. Tonight on 101 ESPN, some NBA play-in action for you as the Sacramento Kings take on the Golden State Warriors. Pregame for that one starts at 8:30. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center Update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Unfortunately for our guy Dylan, he had his streak end, but new opportunity now for somebody else. Brandon is on the line. He's going to play Beat the Streak next. What's up, Brandon?
Oh, not too much. How are you guys?
We're doing great, man. Thanks for playing. So the streak for the listeners now is up to 4, thanks to Dylan. So you're going to start dead last though, because we all got a hit yesterday. But again, you're playing, so you're in the game. Marsh, what is the order?
So today's order will go Carey, Jamie, Anthony, me, and then Brandon.
All right. I'm excited.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm excited. Go ahead, CD.
I'm going to stay with Jordan Walker. I got him to hit a home run and get him to get a hit as well.
Jordan Walker off the board. Jamie.
I doubled down yesterday with Mason Wynn. I'm doubling down today with Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie is now off the board. I'll go with no. I'll also double dip.
There you go.
Everyone.
As well.
How about you, Marshy?
I think I'm going to go with Ivan Herrera.
That's a good one.
He's my guy today.
All right, Brandon.
The catcher market today.
Who would you like to go with for Beat the Streak?
I'll go with Donovan.
Johnny boy.
To Brandon. All right, so if Brendan Donovan gets a hit at any point, Brandon, you're going to be back with us tomorrow. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right, we will see you. Thanks for playing.
Yep.
There you go. Let's beat the streak. Actually, do it. I think the Cardinals play early tomorrow, so we might not have an opportunity to play.
They do play. Yep.
Son of a beanstalk.
It's all right. We forgive you.
I don't forgive myself. That's what's important.
True enough.
Yeah. Biggest question of the day.
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
Hey, first pitch is actually 2:37.
I was going to say, we can actually get it in.
See? You're all negative with yourself, Anthony. You got to be a little positive.
I don't want to. I punish myself
You're a
constantly.
heck of a slouch, okay?
Yeah.
And you do. I've noticed.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
You're really hard on yourself.
Yes, sir. Marsh?
All right, today we remember Whitey Herzog, and he is known for Whitey Ball. That's how a lot of fans around town and around Major League Baseball know Whitey Herzog. So I have a question regarding coaching, and if I can find it here, I will ask the question. Here we go. What manager or coach in other major sports are known for their style of coaching, like Whitey Herzog was known for Whitey Ball?
Oh. What other coaches?
Current coaches?
Or former.
Okay.
That come to mind.
Is it a certain type of offense or defense? Because I automatically think of Phil Jackson and the triangle offense.
Sure.
And what they were able to do and win multiple championships with the Bulls and then win multiple championships with the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name. That's the first name that comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to stick with another iconic coach, Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman obviously had a ton of success in the National Hockey League. There are two things that Scotty Bowman did very well. One was the left wing lock when not very few, if any teams, nobody played that. The Red Wings played it to a T. And then the puck possession game in an era where teams were dumping it in and trying to play the trap and get in and get on the forecheck. Scotty Bowman and the Russian players that came over decided that we weren't doing that anymore. We're going to keep the puck the entire game and make you take it away from us. And that's what they did. And Scotty Bowman's teams in the early to mid 90s, it was weird because they'd get to the red line, get to the blue line. No play. They'd pass it back to the defenseman. No play. Pass it back to the goalie. So it was like soccer almost. They just keep passing it around until they found a weak point to try and expose you. And that to me was really changing the game at that time. Nobody was playing the game that way.
Mm-hmm. I would have to go with two come to mind. Eric Coryell. Mm-hmm. If you're a fan of The Greatest Show on Turf, there were elements in Mike Martz's passing attack, obviously, that stem from Eric Coryell, and Bill Walsh. Bill Walsh with the West Coast offense. Eric Coryell, what was different, Don Coryell, he wanted to attack everybody vertically. So in a league where it's like three yards in a cloud of dust, everybody's running up the middle, it's running. He decided we'll go vertical. Bill Walsh said, all right, everybody's going vertical. We're going to stretch you, horizontally. Mm-hmm. So a lot of what Bill Walsh's concepts were about hitting the wide receiver in the perfect spot so he can make a catch either in the middle of the field or short to intermediate and let him go. That was Jerry Rice's specialty. So those two guys.
And also using all 5 eligible receivers. I think they did a great job. And I would say some of the elements of that also were with the Rams. And because you didn't know who the ball was going to, you had an idea.
Yeah.
But all 5 receivers were eligible to catch passes and were going to be, if they were open, they were going to get the ball.
For sure. Yeah. One other name, if I could, is Joe Gibbs. Because if you like Kyle Shanahan's offense, that's Joe Gibbs' offense. And a lot of it is like, hey, we're going to show you the same formation. And we're going to show you different formations, but we're going to run the same play. Yeah. It's the same play over and over again out of different formations. So defense, you look at it and you're like, oh, geez, we didn't study this. And it's the same play. And it's just kind of confusing for the defense. So that was one other one I thought.
Yeah, last one for me here, and I think we'll all agree with this, Marcia, you in particular. I feel like Gordon Bombay really revolutionized the game.
That's Anthony's favorite
Flying
coach.
V. The Flying V was, part of it.
Wow.
So for me, that's another great one.
I don't want to tear up, getting emotional just thinking about it, but yeah, absolutely. No, it was short-lived because I think, was it Iceland that just decided to hammer the Flying V?
They did. So they had to be actually creative. So they brought their quote-unquote goaltender out, who actually wasn't their goaltender.
It was the knuckle puck.
It was the knuckle
puck.
Which,
again, was revolutionary because they were blocking the knuckle puck because he needed more time to get it off.
That's right.
The Flying V provided protection.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just tough.
The Flying V can be dangerous.
It certainly can.
They Blues haven't implemented it yet.
Give it time.
Well, they're not the Ducks, right?
They can't. Have Gordon Bombay. Think about that.
Well, and we got to give a shout out to Charlie Conway because in that same game, that second game actually that they played against Iceland, they flipped the puck in the air, the alley-oop play. And they even said, Charlie, this isn't the NBA.
Right. Charlie was. Charlie. Here's the thing about Charlie Conway. Was he the best player? Absolutely not.
No.
Great captain.
Was his mom dating the coach? Yes.
That's probably
Did
led
he get
to
more ice
his
time
playing
because
time.
of it?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
But you can't stop Charlie Conway from leading.
No.
You know?
I mean, he didn't even play in the game.
No, he didn't.
He gave up his jersey.
for Banksy.
It's like right out of Rudy.
Certainly was. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, by the third installment, he was like a good player again. I don't know what happened.
He got kicked off the team, but
practice.
Yeah, he did.
He was a pillar, and that's why he got frustrated. Mm-hmm. He didn't know how to. That puberty thing. The emotions run wild.
Tough. You know what though? You know what? He didn't like. He didn't like what the coach had to say. Mm-hmm. However, they came to an agreement, and then they put some trash on the ice, and they started clearing the zone.
Right.
Clear the trash.
Clear the trash.
Yep.
They started to clear it. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what gave Anthony the idea.
Certainly. Yeah.
Plagiarism.
No. Listen. Hey, Ted Lasso, after going to a bar in, London?
I think it was in the Netherlands.
Was it the Netherlands?
I think so.
You know, he started to really study Phil Jackson.
Oh, it was Amsterdam.
Oh, you really, yeah. It opens up your mind there.
Yeah. I went to a bar, it was an American bar, and he started watching Phil Jackson's triangle offense. And he said, you know what? I think we can do this with
soccer?
With soccer.
I think it was the Netherlands that did it, though.
Listen, Marsh, I don't care about the Netherlands. I care about Ted Lasso.
I'm just saying that's what
and his ability.
Andrew just wants you to get it right.
What I'm saying is,
did you even watch the show?
I'm Ted Lasso. Okay, I didn't get
now
the
he's
concept.
declaring himself Ted Lasso.
I didn't get the concept from Eden Hall's coach. I thought of it.
You came up with it.
I came up with it. Now, did he also do it? Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
He was great minds think alike.
Did he do it like
first
25 years ago?
Yeah,
maybe.
Sure,
maybe.
Maybe that was stuck deep in my head. Yeah.
All of a sudden.
To hell with it. All right. We'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN.
Someone else.
Shut your face.
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet celebrating that beautiful spring weather with so many great deals out there. They've got the original location in Florissant, Missouri, and the brand new Londoff Autoplex out in St. Peters. Please check out both locations. They've got fantastic inventory. Whether it's a brand new Chevrolet or a pre-owned vehicle, they have you covered with great deals. Here are a couple that I'd like to point out to you. The Chevy Silverado is a truck that I drive, a 2024 1500 High Country. Retail price on that, $74,800. The Londoff price, $65,750. That's over $9,000 in savings. If you're looking for a Chevy Blazer, 2024 Chevy Blazer RS, retail price, $50,520. The Londoff price, which is what matters, $43,500, over $7,000 saved there. So please head out to either location. Tell them Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. If you can't get there in person, get there online. Visit them at londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
right, we got to fly. Let's do bet the board.
Like
Carey
ducks
Davis.
fly together.
That's right. Carey Davis, Golden State, money line is what his pick is. Jamie?
Yeah, Carolina Hurricanes are going to be resting a whole bunch of players tonight, but they'll still beat the wheels off the Blue Jackets. I got them.
There you go. Carey took the Braves last night from me. I'm taking the Braves tonight. I want them against Houston. Tommy Brown struggles. Houston bullpen, not great either. Go ahead, Marsh.
I'm taking Cardinals A's over 8 runs tonight.
There you go. 3 stars of the day.
We have Fusco, who won the Snake Pit NCAA tournament bracket.
Oh,
so
nice.
Congratulations.
Nice job. Heck yeah. Way to go.
Pete the Possum is our 2nd star of the day.
As he should be.
And obviously, Whitey Herzog takes the number 1 spot.
White, absolutely.
Rest
Speaking of
in
which,
peace,
Dan
Whitey.
McLaughlin, our buddy Dan McLaughlin, we've got a special instant replay, all Dan with Whitey Herzog, exclusive interviews from throughout the years. So you're going to enjoy that. That's starting now. For Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See you.